All right, guys, let's get this party started. We have Tickle Me Caitibugzz back again, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're not up to date on the lore, I'm under the sources. I'm gonna put three things: the first video, the second video, and then the source to this video here, which was this full video. If you want to watch it, but the first two are of me talking about this. We've gone through this information thoroughly, and we've discovered that there's nothing going on here. An 18-year-old was cuddling with another legal adult at a party, and then he tickled her a little bit because they were flirting. And this has turned into the most sensationalized, insane story ever. It's incredibly diminishing to people who actually suffer from like real situations. But she's back again, guys, to speak more of her truth. But the reality is that she's seeing people aren't believing her because she's lied. She verifiably lied about different aspects of her story, and now she's getting negative feedback. And this is something like she's convinced that she's just not communicating herself for the right way because people don't understand where she's coming from. But the reality is she communicated herself perfectly, and her feelings are wrong. And that's being generous to say that she's not being malicious. It's the most generous take you could have here is that she's actually convinced that what happened to her was like a terrible thing because of these very aggressive social media narratives that sensationalize everything and make everybody out to be a victim of something. That's being generous, okay? That's your best bet. So anyway, let's go.
Thank you again. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Wow, you look so nice today, Caitibugzz. Looks like you got a nice good night's sleep. Okay.
Me just waiting.
Okay. Waiting for what?
Taking longer than usual.
Mm-hmm.
This is really awkward.
It's taking longer than usual? Why, are you waiting for like a certain amount of people to be there before you talk? You're doing a dance. This is a really chipper moment for you. Understandably so.
Yes. I guess it is time.
Oh, right.
Hi, everyone.
I'm excited!
This is the stream I promised. I apologize that it's so just late and not... You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
It's the stream I promised that I would do. My final thoughts on everything. You know, just everything that I need to get out before I can even begin to heal anything.
What do you mean, heal what? There's nothing to heal. You lied about like everything. What are you talking about? Before I can heal, I want to heal. I want to feel.
So here it is. I apologize that it is later, I'm pretty sure, than I said. I've been really sick, and I
doubt that. I'm really sick? You might have been a little sick, but that's an excuse to not talk about it because you feel ridiculous. So you're getting dumpstered.
Hoping that I could wait to do this so I could be of right mind too.
Yes, you have right mind, of course.
And wait until I got better, but I've just been getting worse.
Oh, she's sick? She's getting worse despite the fact that she sounds fine and looks fine. But that's because if she doesn't communicate herself well, it's because she's sick, guys. So if you don't believe her, it's not her fault. She's just a silly little sick goose. She's a silly little sick goose, guys. Thank you so much, P. Shore, for the small gut.
Wise,
Hi,
so
Katie.
I
How are
figured
you
I would
doing
just do
today?
it now because obviously not going to be getting better anytime soon. So,
What are you sick from? Would you just do like a cool kickflip or something? Because that would be sick. What are you sick from? She's so full of it.
here it is.
Here it is, guys.
Like I said, this is a stream. It's just my final thoughts on everything. If you're looking at the stream, for me to like expose and drop new drama or just anything to talk about, it's not that kind of stream.
Yeah, it's a cope stream.
And I apologize if you think it is going to be. It's just
less than 3.
everything I need to say.
Papaga, from what I've seen, she has a lot of supporters on Twitter and Reddit. Oh yeah, probably idiots.
From my voice coming from me. I also apologize. I will be, stopping, stuttering. I can't control the emotions I show during this. I didn't even write anything to say. I've written down, the things I want to talk about, but it's not something I can just sit and read, which is hard for me because it's hard to just voice.
Because she got criticized last time. She got criticized last time for like reading off of her script, her like legitimate slam poetry. That she was reading. I was insane. The slam poetry. 6 months later, I wrote poetry about how this guy tickled me.
how I'm thinking what I'm thinking.
Like, some people might think I'm being a little mean, but like, we really need to push back very heavily against these narratives because they diminish real assault survivors. So we need to make sure that we're as aggressive as possible against the Tickle Me Elmos, okay?
So I do ask that you guys be patient with me.
This is supposed to be a GIF.
And this isn't edited, so I
Not
can't, you know, go back or cut out the pauses that I make. So again, I apologize. This is gonna be all over the place and probably not make any sense. But I'm doing it anyway. I guess. I also want to thank everyone that is even just here. Even if you're here for the absolute wrong reasons and you hate me, hate my guts, I want to thank you anyway for being here to hear me. Because there's a lot of people right now that are even just only watching clips from things.
No, we watched the whole thing. We watched the entire we watched the entire thing. We haven't just watched clips, we've watched everything. And from the start, from her first video where she's talking about her situation, you could tell that there's something not right about the way that she's expressing it. Thank you so much for the $2 from Jeannie Cruiser 1029. Camden Gerard Davis had the Leviathans get her. Yeah, to tickle them. The Leviathans have tickled her. Oh my god.
Things I've said and refused to watch the full thing, where there's a lot of people that only want to watch his videos on it, especially because of the latest video using clips from my stream. They really don't feel it's necessary to watch or read any of my stuff. And it's hard. I feel like I don't have a voice in my own story, if that makes sense.
You were the first one to say things. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
So I really want to thank you guys for at least being here, hearing me out. Again, I'm sorry if I like say things the wrong way. And just
sorry if I say things the wrong way, guys. It's just my ability to communicate, not the fact that I'm lying. That's the problem. Duh.
Use the wrong wording or go back. It's just crazy right now. Everything's crazy. But I thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited.
Anyways, the one biggest thing that I want to clear up, it is fucking sexual assault. Okay.
No, it's not. Just to be clear, the story is basically by both of their admissions at this point is that they were legal adults in the same room together. She was over 18, that she was drinking, apparently. She's a grown adult. She can drink if she wants. Should she be legally? No, but she's still an adult to make that decision. He actually thinks she's 21. Doesn't matter. They were flirting that night and afterwards through text messages. They cuddled for like an hour, and then he like moved his hand up and like tickled her or something. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. It's a big nothing. Nothing happened. That's where we're at. So,
okay, I'm not gonna apologize. Say that it isn't sexual assault. That
it's not sexual assault.
Not a sexual assault victim.
You're not. You're a loser. Actually, I'm gonna be meaner to you now because now you're just being incredibly diminishing to like people who've actually been assaulted. You're a loser.
The touching that he has admitted to many times. This touching that he admitted to not asking or getting my consent before he did. He felt up my tits.
It doesn't matter. First of all, you didn't say that, the original, so this is new information, so you're probably lying. Second of all, it doesn't matter. Like, we need to get it out of our head that this is not how things work. Should you get explicit consent? Yes. You should be like, hey, can I tickle you? Sure. But the reality is that when you are in a scenario where you're cuddling with somebody, like, them making the next reasonable move of potentially moving their hand to your stomach or tickling you, now she's saying he grabbed her tits, which I doubt. That's normal. That's a normal way to go. And if you didn't want to do that, you could just say no. Okay? Just because we should be using explicit consent, like enthusiastic explicit consent, doesn't mean that like body language consent doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't mean that. And you'd be like, no, it does. No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. But if you're in a scenario where, if you're in a scenario where you've been flirting with somebody all night, you guys are drinking together, having fun, having a good time, and then you're cuddling together, and that person's like, oh, I want to make the next like logical move, and that they do, that doesn't make it some kind of assault. Sorry. Like, it seems like people on the internet don't understand that there's a difference between the perfect way to act in a situation versus an acceptable way to act in a situation. And by every metric, it is an acceptable way to act in a situation for what he did, which was tickle her. This new like touch my tits thing it's a new narrative, and I just am not here for it. She's changing the story, so there's no reason to believe her. She's an unreliable narrator in this story in general. So If he did grab her chest, would it have been assault? No, it wouldn't have been. That would have been the next logical step. If I was cuddling with a girl after flirting and drinking with them for an hour, cuddling for an hour, the next step for me would be to like touch their tits. Like it's enough is enough. Like we need to stop. We need to stop with these dumb narratives from these like morons. It's so stupid and it's so diminishing to people.
On a couch with other people there.
Wow, why did they stop you for being raped then? Excuse me, what? Your friends were there with you? 2 of your friends, you said, I think it was? Why did they let you get raped? Explain that to me. Because if it was me in the situation, I wouldn't let my friends get assaulted because I'm not a scum piece of shit. So the best bet here is that none of you knew it was assault until magically later, even though it's not. So like, what's the narrative here? What I don't understand.
He stuck his hand up my shirt,
I don't care.
under my bra, and felt up, fondled, whatever you want to say. He felt up my tits.
You said that he tickled you. This is new, but okay.
Unwanted sexual touch is literally in the definition of sexual assault.
Good job. You've convinced yourself you're a victim. I don't care about you.
It's fucking sexual assault, and I'm never gonna apologize for saying it is, okay?
You don't have to, but you're wrong, and you're a loser.
It isn't fake allegations.
It is fake allegations.
It's not fake allegations.
It is.
I'm not a liar. Quite
You are.
literally.
Well, you literally did lie. You quite literally lied about the narrative of it. You lied about it being cuddling and then admitted to it afterwards, because you knew that was going to make you look stupid. So, like, yes, you are a liar.
The thing that I was talking about is my sexual assault.
You weren't sexually assaulted.
And that's the one thing he confirmed.
No, he didn't.
He can sit there and confirm that he did it. And I'm still sat here getting called a liar, getting called a fake victim.
You are a fake. You're not like, yeah, you're a fake victim. I'm going to lose.
Getting called, what was it? A slut and a prude at the same time. And quite
don't care.
Frankly, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna stand down. Luckily, I'm not scared to say it anymore.
There's nothing to be afraid of. You're not getting any real world consequence for your lying. So, like, what's to be afraid of? I don't understand.
That's it. It's
like, you're not brave. You're not strong. You're not powerful. You're a loser. What is this? What's the point of like any of this?
Sexual assault.
Okay.
He felt up my tits. This touching that he's talking about, that
probably didn't feel too much then, huh?
That's what it is, okay? No, I'm not upset that he tickled me. I'm not saying that he assaulted
You literally said he tickled you.
me because he tickled me or because he was close to me. No, I'm upset because I was on a couch, 18 years old, drunk.
That's your fault. You were a legal adult and you decided to get drunk. Sorry, don't care.
On a couch with other people in the room, and he sticks up his hand and starts feeling my tits.
Wow, this is so new. What a new narrative. It's incredible that you didn't just tell us this in the first place. Crazy stuff. Still don't care. It's obviously probably not true. Or else you would have said this from the start, so I don't really care.
That was my fucking story.
Your story? Well, it's certainly a story. I'll tell you that much.
No, he didn't ask if I wanted it.
Oh, wow.
But somehow, you know.
Maybe he just thought you were a little boy and he was trying to help you home.
He had enough energy to ask the question, "Are you ticklish?" Which I responded with no. I'm not fucking ticklish. And that's what led to him feeling up my tits.
Wow. So he did tickle. So he tickled your titties? He gave you the old titty tickler? Oh my God, George, you silly little goose. You scoundrel. You dog.
He will never understand that feeling when I realized this wasn't just a bunch of...
Well, I think that he should. Maybe, you know, girls, touch your man's boobs more. They like it. I like a little bit of it. You know, it's a good feeling, so...
People hanging out on a couch together, a bunch of friends hanging out, when it was inherently a sexual thing.
Wow,
that's
crazy.
Instead of just a bunch of friends on a couch together, I was being wanted for my body. No, he would have never felt my uncomfort because he was too busy.
It would be discomfort.
Feeling something else that night.
What was he feeling there?
The amount of
I hope that she has more like sexual assault slam poetry here, because that was super entertaining.
Communication.
You sneaky Pete.
Misinformation that is spreading is one of the biggest reasons. I feel like
there's no misinformation being spread. This is where people are just repeating your narrative and going like, wow, this is really stupid.
I just don't even really have anything to say anymore because
I hope that she's proud of herself for diminishing like real victims of sexual assault, because like she is. That's all she has done is completely hurt the narrative for actual victims of assault.
I mean, I was reading my own story on Twitter, and I was reading it, and I didn't even know it was my story they were talking about until they said my name, because of how skewed everything's gotten. Oh
my God.
It's like this huge game.
This is what happens like when her feelings don't match her story, but she's trying to communicate that. She's trying to communicate how she's feeling now, not how she felt then, because she was happy. Remember, guys, I mistook what did she say? She like mistook her fucking fear for excitement. It's like incredible.
Telephone where each time it gets a little bit more off, but no one's acknowledging that they could have heard wrong.
Did George get off, or just wondering?
And they're yelling what they heard as loud as possible. Okay, people saying I'm trying to ruin a man's career because he tickled me, or like,
Yep.
especially he did not rape me either. Like, it's so important to hear what I'm saying.
The energy that you're using is that he violently and aggressively raped you. You did crybaby slam poetry. Just don't care.
People getting their info from TikTok comment sections. Like,
No, I watched everything. I just watched it. Read text messages. It's not exactly rocket science here, fellas.
it is insane. I really do encourage everyone to watch my response on it. Like, either read my response on Twitter or watch the original video. I don't fucking care if you can't stand the fact that I'm crying. At least if
I'm okay with crying, just not when it's disproportionate. You're crying for nothing. You're crying because you cuddled with a guy and he tickled you. Yeah, I was consensually cuddling with this guy for an hour, and then he like made a move. Like, who would have thought? Yeah, who would have fucking thought, man? What a crazy thing. And the cringiest thing is that his move was tickling, because I just don't believe her that he touched her breast. It's just stupid. She would have said this from the beginning. It doesn't make any sense to me. The way that she sensationalized her original story, there's no way that she wouldn't have said this from the beginning if it was true. So there's nothing else to really care about.
you're gonna say something, if you're gonna hate me, that's fine. Watch my full video and then choose to.
I already decided. Yeah, I already watched the full video. Loser.
Like, it's just, there's a lot. There is something I'm fully owning up to and clearing up right now. The
What?
screenshot. My recent
Oh yeah, that you like confirmed lied about. Yeah. What's up with that?
response on Twitter. This is the only kind of like response thing I'm gonna give. I will acknowledge that was a complete miscommunication. There's a screenshot I said was from his friend that wasn't there for the assault, mentioned our ages, and
What assault is that? What happened? I'm confused.
acknowledged, the situation was weird.
What is she talking about? What assault is she talking about? Because there was no assault.
It's a real screenshot. What I got wrong and what was miscommunicated was who it was from. It was actually from, instead of the guy who left or wasn't there for the assault, it was from the girl who wasn't there for the assault. Which I
Was that girl that wasn't there for the assault you? Because there was no assault.
acknowledge is frustrating that I got that wrong, and I didn't realize I got it wrong until after I
Wow.
posted it
You're so brave, Caitibugzz. Tickle me, buggy.
a long time after. And obviously when I don't come out and say, oh, I got that wrong, when he's the one to come out and say she got that wrong, it makes that into the biggest deal. I got a message from the girl that actually sent the text and was like, it was a while after I already posted my response, and was like, you kind of mixed up who the text was from, but I'm sure it won't be a big deal because it was only one of the minor things you said.
Oh my god. And she was basically a minor because she was only 18. Wait, what? Oh, she was 18. Oh, but she was freshly 18 6 months before it, so.
And everything else you said in that response was way more important. Which obviously
Nothing you said was important. I don't know if you, I would actually, if I was you, I would consider, like, do you think you've ever said anything important?
we've seen that was not the
To be fair, she never said that the problem was that she was tickled. She said he asked, are you ticklish? And then his hand was inching for the places I hadn't asked for. I don't care. That doesn't matter. You're not understanding. Her narrative was that there was nothing consensual about anything. And then it turned out that they were cuddling mutually and consensually for like an hour before and flirting with each other. So her narrative is she wasn't interested in him at all. The normal human being, non-fucking moron narrative is that they were having a flirtatious, natural progression. And at one point, he's like, are you ticklish? And then tickled her as part of that flirtation, which was within a reasonable next step based on what was happening. So, like, her narrative, she's a lying, scum fucking piece of shit that is completely diminishing every other assault survivor. She's a loser. People need to be meaner to her because she's a bad person. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting what she has done to assault survivors. All that happens now is everybody gets to point and go, see, another fucking liar next time an actual assault victim comes forward. An assault survivor. That's what happens. So she's a loser. I don't give a fuck. Her narrative is full of shit. She's a bad person. I don't care if she's convinced that what happened was bad because of like these aggressive online narratives or not. It needs to be understood that like she's not brave, she's not a hero, she's not a fucking superpower. She's done nothing that's brave. She's a piece of shit. And it should be insulting to every single person who's actually gone through some real trauma in their life. I don't care about being nice to this bad person. Like, it's enough is enough. People who make these false accusations, they need to not be like, I understand how you felt. No, fuck that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting stuff. It's dumb. So
the case, but I do acknowledge and own up to the fact I completely was wrong about that. But again, I'm saying, even though it wasn't from his friend, it was yet another person in the hotel room that acknowledged the weirdness. Yes, it wasn't from that guy in the hotel room. It was from the girl in the hotel room. Wow. Like, I still think the screenshot, it's not a fake screenshot as well. It's a real screenshot. I still think it adds to the fact of, people acknowledged it. Also, the fact that I said I was freshly 18, which is something a lot of people are mad about.
Yes, because it's part of the narrative conversation where you're trying to downplay your age. When you say I was freshly 18, what you're trying to do is you're trying to suggest that somehow, despite the fact that you are a legal adult, that you are still a child. That's what you're doing there. So of course people are going to harp in on that. What you're saying, the narrative that you're presenting people, is 100% something that should be picked apart. You decided to come to the court of public opinion for this. This is what happens. If you didn't want people to actually engage with what you were saying and talk about it, then you shouldn't have talked about it.
When in reality, I was 18 and 5 months old. My bad. Yeah. What I meant to say in that original stream where I said I was freshly 18, I said I was freshly 18 and just out of high school. What I meant to say was I was 18 and freshly out of high school.
I don't care.
I just put it in front of the wrong thing.
Wow, it took you a long time to come up with that excuse, huh?
And I do acknowledge that. But once again, I feel like the idea is still the same, whether it's freshly...
What's the idea? You're a legal adult.
18.
Why were you drinking at a party? You're an adult. Like, it's time to move on. I don't know what to tell you.
Or freshly out of high school because I had just graduated a few weeks earlier.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
The idea's still there.
There's no idea. I don't care. There's a point in your life where it's like it's going to be a point in your life where things are going to change. You're a legal adult. That's the reality. If you didn't like that, then go advocate for an increased age of consent. I don't care. But like, you're a legal adult. Okay. This is something that a lot of especially young men don't understand too. Is that there's young men who are 18, 19, 20 years old that are still acting incredibly immature, and they go around saying dumb shit and acting like kids because they're used to being treated like a kid. But if you're in the street and you disrespect the wrong man, if you disrespect another grown man, he's going to smack the fuck out of you, and you're going to be like, well, why? Because you're a grown man now, so you face the consequences. Okay? It's the same thing here. You're a grown woman legally. Oh, I understand that you're not like perfectly grown and there's still development. It is what it is. It's time for you, like, you're a legal adult. It's time for you to start acting like one. Okay, you're a legal adult. You made the conscious decision to drink alcohol. That's on you. Oh, it's not legal. Yeah, you're still an adult. Don't care. And you lied about your age anyway. So, sorry.
Still there. And these are the things... I'm sorry, I do get frustrated with that because people are mad at me saying that I'm a liar because of these things instead of acknowledging the fact that he fucking admitted to doing what he did to me.
Didn't do anything wrong.
And we're worried about the fact that I said I was freshly 18 when I meant to say I was freshly out of high school.
All of it is very important because of the narrative you were pushing. Are you going to address the slam poetry you did too, or what?
It's just... I'm... Again, and... I shouldn't be getting frustrated, but it's
that's not my audio.
Just upsetting.
We all love you.
Katie, your own parents don't love you, just so you know. I hope you understand that.
Him admit to it.
Okay. He didn't admit to anything.
That not being enough.
I wonder what the conversation was a year after this actually happened, because she didn't care in the time. It must have been like, yeah, I was hanging out with this guy George, and we were like cuddling and stuff, and then like he put his hand up and he tickled me. Isn't that funny? And her friend's like, you were raped. You were assaulted. I was. And then she starts manipulating herself into thinking it's true. That's the that's the fucking natural progression. Again, that's being charitable and not even saying that she's doing this on purpose.
And for the people saying he was drunk too, so he didn't consent. I didn't fucking feel up his tits. Okay. What did he not consent to? I would like to make
Maybe you should have.
Clear. There was no reciprocation in any sexual act.
Okay, you guys were flirting and cuddling. There was reciprocation in the cuddling. And actually, if you're saying, okay, so this is a new narrative and she's lying about him touching her tits. But if your logic is, this is the new logic then. Your logic is that you guys were flirting the whole night and then you were cuddling with each other and then he went for your breast and then you didn't reciprocate, so he stopped. Okay. That makes him look even better. Again, him going to touch your breasts was a natural part of progression when it comes down to it. I understand. Expressed enthusiastic consent is ideal, but you guys were very clearly that this is very normal. There is a general reasonable progression or escalation of events, which was completely within reason. And then you're saying you didn't consent or you didn't like it, so he stopped. Great. George, you're an even better person than I thought.
The sexual act that happened was not reciprocated.
Okay.
The only thing he could have not consented to was him putting his own hand on my tits.
Crazy. Isn't it? It kind of sucks to be a man, huh? Listen, I'm not like a fucking anti-feminist because feminism is very important. But like, as a man, this is the scenario. This is the interesting scenario. As a man, you're expected to make all the first moves, and if you get it wrong, according to Caitibugzz, you're a fucking rapist. So that's why men are frustrated because you're expected to make every move. You're expected to be a complete mind reader, and then if you're wrong about something very small, very minor, and very non-traumatic. You're now a sexual predator. Isn't that fucking crazy? In all honesty, it's tough to be a guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying that it's not hard to be a woman. I'm just saying, because that's what's happening in this scenario. Okay. When it comes to dating, and again, I really don't want to be all men are a victim because they're not overall. But this is one of the things that sucks as a man. It's like women can engage in fucking weaponized incompetence when it comes to dating. And that's what women do. It's like flirtation, right? They're like, oh, I'm not going to make the first move. Like, oh. And then a guy makes the move and she's like, oh, I like that. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, she's like 6 months later, she's like, I didn't like that anymore. And now he's a fucking predator. It's like, what the fuck? It's crazy. It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild. And then I don't know. It's great. It's just fucking wild, man.
I didn't touch him after that. I didn't touch him sexually before that. There was nothing for him to consent to sexually.
Cool stuff.
I understand that could be an argument, not for this situation.
Don't care. You're not intelligent, so nothing you say has any bearing on anything in any situation. Just to be clear, nothing you're not anything. You have no life experience. You have nothing of particular value. You were a legal adult who engaged in a situation that you didn't find bad until it's like 6 months later when somebody convinced you that it was.
The hypocrisy that has surrounded this situation is fucking insane.
What's the hypocrisy?
Get into just the blaming of me. That is because
you're meant to be
insane. Shit.
I know. Oh, a woman getting blamed.
But the hypocrisy of I just can't do anything in this situation. I mean, I came out about it publicly, and I was called an attention-seeking slut.
Good. Yeah, you shouldn't have come out about it publicly. That you shouldn't be doing that. Even if this was like a real situation that happened, which it wasn't, there's a conversation to have. If you come out about your story publicly, people are going to weigh in on it. You're putting it into the court of public opinion instead of going to an actual police officer. I know that the police aren't perfect when it comes to this, but at the end of the day, sometimes that's the best you can do. That's better than the fucking court of public appeal, unless you're trying to get these people to cancel somebody. And you were somewhat successful. You were able to get Mr. Beast hit down, or to hit down George, to detach himself from him. So good for you. You damaged a man's career, because you decided that tickling was bad 6 months after you were tickled.
So then I'm like, fine, I privated all my things so I can receive followers, receive clout. I couldn't grow from this. She privated all her things so she couldn't get clout. You privated all your shit because you got fucking dumpstered and you felt dumb about it. What are you talking about? There's no way. She's so dishonest. It's so funny. Privated everything, so I can't gain that. And then I'm told
I can't gain it because I privated it, dude. If this thing went well, you wouldn't have privated a singular fucking thing.
I'm hiding from everything and that I should go public. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I cry on my stream.
Stop talking. You're wrong. You're wrong about this. Stop talking. Shut the fuck up.
Because I'm scared and I'm talking about.
You're not afraid of anything. That's absolute nonsense. You're not scared of anything. You're not afraid of a singular thing at all. There's no way you're afraid of what? For what? George what? Hiring a hitman? Okay.
My assault.
You weren't assaulted.
And then I'm told I'm embarrassing, that I'm doing it for attention, that I'm
Absolutely.
a pick me, that I'm dramatic. But if I sat there and I didn't cry, I know I would have been called a liar, soulless, heartless.
You are a liar. So
you know, a sociopath. You can't do anything right in these situations.
it's because you're lying. I think that's the number one thing. If you acted imperfectly in the scenario, but you were like verifiably in the right, then nobody would have been picking at you.
And it's fucking insane. For people saying take legal action, do you know the odds of winning an assault case? Like,
there's no case here because in your best framing, the police are going to be like, oh, this is nothing. Because it's nothing.
There's a reason. 1 out of 3 girls are assaulted in their lives.
That's not necessarily true. There is an issue with women getting like ogled or like having negative experiences. Absolutely. It doesn't even matter to get into that.
Okay.
Clearly she wants to be one of them, to be honest with you. Because she clearly wasn't assaulted and she must be feeling like she's like missing out. Ah, shucks, I wish I was molested at that party. Let me make up a fucking lie about tickling. I don't know what else. That she must just be feeling really left out. I don't know. She's like fucking Mr. Garrison from that South Park episode. It's fucking crazy.
There's a reason so many of them don't come out about this. The system...
Yeah, I know people, a lot of women who have not come out about it. And it was infinitely more traumatic than what you're talking about. So, like, I don't care. I have no empathy for you.
I would like to believe that it's always for you. The amount of fucking injustice that happens with our system is insane. It's absolutely insane. And you sit here and see someone come out about their story and your immediate thing is, well, take it up with the law? Like, that will serve any justice.
Yeah, maybe it would have if you did it right when it happened. But again, you weren't offended by it, so you couldn't have.
So, fuck you.
Okay, cool stuff.
People, even just the hypocrisy of people not being able to watch my video, me coming out about
What do you think hypocrisy means? I'm not understanding.
My assault, but being able to hear it from his mouth. But they don't want to watch mine because I'm too dramatic and because...
Who do you think is like who are these like these fucking amorphous people who are not watching your video but watching his only? Like who is that? Who is it you're referring to? Like this isn't even like a quantifiable thing you're saying. You're just like, yeah, there's just people who are just like, let's take it his word for it. You're not even watching my stuff. Who? What?
Because I'm crying too much. But they'll watch his. I think it's insane. The amount of people telling me how I felt that night. The amount of people telling me how I...
You told us that you were excited at first, but then upon reflection, you were actually scared. I confused my fear for excitement or something like that. You told us how you felt, and then you decided to change it. This is so fucking funny. It was so poetic. I swear to God, it was like so poetic. It was so bizarrely poetic.
I felt. Or the amount of people believing from his mouth how I felt. Instead of just fucking hearing me say how I felt.
Did you say how you felt in the moment? It's a real question. It's a real question because what he did wasn't wrong. Like, I'm going to say this again. Men, make sure that you make a woman feel comfortable in saying no. And women, make sure you say no. Make sure you communicate your boundaries effectively. Because men are not mind readers. Men are the least emotionally intelligent creatures in the entire fucking world. That's just a fact. Okay? And still... part of the way that we operate is that men need to somehow magically understand all women's feelings. Express yourself effectively, especially if you're in a room full of people, your friends including, you would have no fear expressing a boundary. So, like, enough is enough. Well, maybe he wouldn't like me. Who cares? It's enough is enough. Enough excuses. Enough to stand up for yourself. But again, nothing happened in this situation because she's fucking verifiably lied. And she got tickled. Oh, well.
It's insane. It's insane. And the fact that if I have inconsistencies in my story, which I do, and I'm not going to say I don't, I'm, like, remembering the night of my...
Just a silly little inconsistency. Sorry, guys. By the way, he actually grabbed my tits, and I didn't say that at first 3 times.
Assault. And I'm sorry, but the thing that I really remembered...
You weren't assaulted.
...is the assault. I didn't remember...
What about the pepper? Because I love some crushed peppers.
You know, like, if a person who wasn't there for the assault left at a certain time, I remembered my assault. I will acknowledge that there are inconsistencies. But when I have...
So this is something that's common with actual assault survivors, not her, she's a lying piece of shit, where they won't remember everything. Sometimes it can be very fragmented memory. And I feel like she's playing on all these things. I honestly feel like she read a textbook of, like, the way that people potentially act after they go through a traumatic event. And she's trying to recreate that. Like, that's all this is. Like, she's doing theater with sexual assault here. That's all this is.
Inconsistencies in my story, and I address them and I acknowledge it, my whole story's out. It's in the trash, and I'm seen as a liar for inconsistencies. But when he has an inconsistency, or when, you know, even the 21 wristband thing saying I had a band that said I was, you know, when he has an inconsistency and I prove it wrong, have video footage of it,
What inconsistency did he say that she proved wrong? Oh, the wristband. He's like, oh yeah, that wasn't because the thing is that your inconsistency is like it's irrelevant, and so is his. People are focusing on the main story. Like, what was his inconsistency? That he thought he had a picture of her with the wristband, but it was actually a picture of a different girl. So, like, that's it. What that was like his only inconsistency. You're literally coming out with new information every time. The narrative is constantly changing. Like now, all of a sudden, he apparently grabbed her tits, which didn't happen because she didn't. She would have said that at first. It's just changing. The story's changing over and over again.
It's still used against me.
And there was no trauma response that she had. Like the reason why a lot of these things get forgotten by other like survivors of assault is because they have a trauma response that like buries the information in their brain, and then they'll go through events and they'll go like, holy shit, I was like assaulted. She didn't have a trauma response. There's no trauma response here. None. And I'm never going to validate this. Enough is enough. We need to stop. We need to stop over validating these people.
To this day, his inconsistencies are taken as the holy fucking grail and as the truth, even when proved wrong. And when I have an inconsistency,
George would be so fucking stupid to respond to this. Honestly, he needs to just let this go and move on. Nobody's going to believe her.
My whole fucking everything I've said is gone. It's just the way I've been treated is fucking insane, and I'm not afraid to say it's fucking insane. Because I do acknowledge I have inconsistencies, you know. Yeah. But it is. Anyways. And I also understand the idea that we have different point of views. Obviously, we're gonna have different point of views of that night. Otherwise, what happened wouldn't have happened. I don't understand believing the one point of view over the other. And again, even the fact that
you want us to believe your point of view over his, so you do understand that. We're just not agreeing with you because based on all the stuff around it, what you're saying is fucking stupid and you weren't assaulted.
Different point of views.
Like, again, in her best telling of the situation, she still wasn't assaulted. If you believe everything that she said, she still wasn't. She wasn't assaulted. If you believe everything she said, she still was not assaulted. Sorry.
The one thing we agree on, the one thing that we agree on, is the fact that he touched me.
That doesn't matter. Touching isn't bad unless it's not consensual. And based on the events of that night, where you guys were flirting and cuddling with each other for an hour, consensually. Very clearly, the natural progression of him tickling you or even potentially touching your breast is not something that would be considered some kind of sexual assault. Sorry, he's not wrong for what happened. You don't have a trauma from it. None of it matters. And you're probably lying anyway. So, sorry.
And didn't ask if I was okay with it. That's what I came out about, and that's what he agreed with.
Cool.
I mean, it's, I don't know. Oh, and again, the fact of him saying I painted him in a bad light. I'm talking about my assault. Okay. I'm not gonna paint it in a fucking rainbows and sunshine light. I'm saying I used word choices that painted him bad, but then he says stuff like, oh, we cuddled before.
And you admitted to it.
Cuddling can be taken, and I watched it be taken and ran with. He says we cuddled, and people are like, you can't get mad at what he did to you because you were lying on top of him and all up on him before it happened. I wasn't. We were.
Oh yeah, she also got up from cuddling to say goodbye to her friend and then went back into the cuddle.
On a couch. And before it happened. I wasn't. We were on a couch. Sitting.
I could have swore that this fucking idiot admitted to it, like cuddling. What are you talking about?
Sitting up. We were all on a couch. Everything and anything you could consider cuddling, I saw that as a friendly, like, drunk, what you...
Listen to this again.
Sitting up. We were all on a couch. Everything...
You can cuddle sitting up, by the way. You can, like, put your arm around somebody, cuddle.
And anything you could consider cuddling, I saw that as a friendly, like, drunk, what you do with your friends. I was doing it...
Really? So that's her admitting, by the way, that she's cuddling, but trying to reframe it. It's like, I didn't see the cuddling as like a big deal. It was like a friendly thing. Oh, but you've never met this person before. Nobody thinks cuddling is friendly, by the way. Everybody knows it's an intimate moment. It's an intimate thing when like, what are you talking about? It's just cuddling. No, it's like it is a potential natural progression of a romantic physical engagement. And if you don't know that, then maybe you need to go to a doctor and see if you have autism or something, because you don't understand social cues. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So, suck a fart.
With my best friend that was right next to me as well, you know? And again, I believed any touches were more initiated by him, but again, that's just hearsay.
Sorry, what did you say?
Drunk, what you do with your friends. I was doing it with my best friend that was right next to me as well, you know? And again, I believed
We
any
love you,
touches
KT.
were more initiated by him, but again,
I love it. Did you hear what she said? I believe that more of the touches were initiated by him. This kills everything that she said. With that, this is the admittance that it was consensual. What she's telling you there is that she also touched him back in a flirtatious way. That's what that's saying there.
to me as well, you know? And again, I believed
We
any
love you,
touches
KT.
were more initiated by him, but again,
More initiated by him, so you were touching him back. So what I'm hearing here is that he was flirting with you physically. You were reciprocating that flirting physically. The video's over. The video's over. There's no reason to talk about this any further. That's it. I'm going to keep going, but the video's over. This is her admitting that she's wrong without even realizing it. You reciprocated the cuddling. So if your argument is that he sexually assaulted you, like then you did too. I guess you sexually assaulted him because he didn't explicitly say to do it, right? So like you're both rapists, or what are you doing here? How does this work? How does this work? Women are always the victim, or what? And again, when I talk about this, I want to be very clear that I'm not some like fucking red pill dickheaded lunatic, right? That's why I make sure to say it, because I don't want you guys to think that like I don't believe women, because I obviously do. But if you're like new to this, I don't want you to think I'm just like nothing could have ever happened, because no. What I'm saying is, like, in this instance, she's a liar, and she's diminishing to other assault survivors, which are disproportionately women. She's a net loss for women. So
that's just hearsay. Again, but just
that's hearsay. Wait, hold on a second. I don't think that's hearsay. Information received from other people that one cannot adequately substantiate rumor according to hearsay. I'm pretty sure hearsay applies when you're like, oh, such and such said this thing about something, but you would be the first-hand witness. So yes, it's unverifiable, but I don't think it would count as hearsay. I don't know why I'm focusing on this.
using words like that, it can be taken and ran with. It wasn't anything sexual, and I believe it was
Cool.
pretty tame.
Cool.
I didn't, again, believe that it was an invitation for anything sexual, or that it would lead to anything sexual.
I didn't believe it was an invitation. Okay, cool. I don't care.
Especially it being in front of a bunch of people.
Cool stuff.
For the people saying I'm an attention seeker.
Yeah,
I
clearly.
think genuinely when people come out about these kind of things, is insane that people believe that. Anyone who has genuinely came out about a true story.
But you didn't. So you're just not genuine.
That has happened to them, they know that this attention is the worst attention you could possibly ever get.
Okay.
I've lost the love for something that I've spent so long on because of all of this.
I don't care.
You know?
Good. You shouldn't make content anymore, if that's what you're referring to. Thank you so much for the $5. Pasta Muncher 42. Ladies got to stand up for themselves more. Playing possum in a situation like this is gonna this are only gonna get you hurt. It's so simple to state boundaries. Just to be absolutely clear, there are going to be scenarios where somebody like has a legitimate reason to fear fighting back. Okay, like if you're in a room by yourself with like 5 people that you don't know. And like the person, like there are scenarios that exist. This isn't one of them. You're in the room with his friends, your friends, cuddling with this guy, flirting with this guy, touching him. He's touching you back flirtatiously, and then he cuddles you. This is not one of the scenarios where this isn't one of those scenarios. It's just not. Thank you so much, John Haffen, for the 1 month small gun. Love you, Papa. Love you too.
It is everything that I've worked for since I was 16.
Cool.
On this account, you know, under this name, everything that I've worked for is
Kinetic
overshadowed
weapons.
by this. When you look up my name, this is what it is. I'm fucking defined by this now.
Well, then you shouldn't have brought it up, bitch.
You know, and there's no coming back from that. Why would I want that?
No, because you didn't think that this was going to happen. You thought it was going to go better for you. You thought that this was going to go better for you, and it didn't. That's what it is. So. What's only
and
reload speed? That's dookie.
My trauma and what I've been
You don't have trauma from this.
through has become drama and click.
My trauma's become drama. My sadness, madness. Somebody please arrest George, or he is my badness. He tickled my tummy. He rubbed my titty. That party certainly was not Liddy. I am so sad. I cried so hard. The public response has made me so jarred. So I must go, for I lost my passion. One second. But at least I look like I'm up to date on the fashion. Because she does look nice. That was a poetry. That was a poem. That was a trauma poem. By Tickle Me Caitibugzz. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much, Darky Sharky, for the $2. What's your favorite gym class hero song to goon to? I don't know. I don't really like that band.
And just another discussion topic to argue with each other on Twitter.
Twitter.
Why would I want any of this? I will tell you guys why I came out about it later, but I did.
Why don't you just tell us now? Wasn't the reason because you were so horribly traumatized? I wanted to protect people from George the tickle bandit.
This is not the attention anyone would want. And if someone does want attention like this, they're fucking insane.
Well, no, you don't want the negative attention. You wanted the positive attention.
And this isn't me undermining any of the support I've gotten. I love you guys, and I love the people that have shown me support. Cool. I'll never be able to thank you guys enough, but even the good support. If
you want support, you should have played a fucking ADC, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Support that I've gotten in this situation. You know, the people that are strictly, before I privated, following me just because of this. It's not even the kind of following that I want, you know?
Oh my god, she realized that you shouldn't just try to get a following at any fucking... by at any means necessary. Wow.
People following me because I'm a victim. People following me because of this situation.
You're so strong, Katie.
It defines me.
You're so strong, Katie.
Of course, I love the support, and that isn't
Katie.
me not acknowledging
You're
how
so strong.
I am. But again, obviously the bad attention's bad, but even the good attention
is also bad.
It's not even what I.
It's not even good, guys. I'm fucking the victim here. Thank you so much for the $2 again from Pasta Muncher 42. Blood is a tickle monster. That's what I'm saying, dude. He's fucking dangerous. It's dangerous.
Good one. I always wanted, to connect with more people and to,
wow.
My.
Well, now they're not going to want to because you're going to fucking cry rape the second it doesn't go the way that you want it to. So.
Content to be known more, but I don't want it to become more well known because I was assaulted. Wow, and I hope you guys can also understand that. So both sides of the attention I'm getting, it's just, again, it's nothing I would ever want. And again, why would I come out about this? For more clout?
I don't know, probably. I don't know what your motivations are because you're full of shit. Maybe you thought you were doing the right thing. Dude, there's no way this thing is so long to open up.
Do content. What am I going to do with the clout?
Oh, dude, I want this to be kinetic.
I don't know what my future
is this going to fuck me up?
Wait, I don't want a career in content or anything like that. Yeah.
So if their thing is that she didn't want a career in content anymore, then she did this so that she did this because she was like, oh, like she's gonna bang out anyway, so she doesn't care. One last hurrah.
Again, I want to talk about the good response. I really appreciate everybody that has reached out. It's such a double-edged, because
I don't know. Double-edged what? Nerf gun? What were you gonna say? Spell it out for me. Obviously, if I'm a fan of you, I'm too stupid to parse through information myself, so you need to spell it out for me.
As much as I'm glad so many people are connecting with me and, feeling better about themselves, it hurts seeing how many people can relate. It hurts.
Yeah. Anybody who relates to Katie's story is not a victim of anything. Like, your dad maybe raised his voice a little too loud when you were blasting rock music. And, you're like, yeah, Katie, I know it is. I have abusive parents. I have abusive parents. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Nobody that identifies, just to be clear, nobody that identifies with this person has any trauma. Like, you would not identify with this person. People can smell the fucking horse shit. Easily. Like,
hearing the stories people are coming out with, it's great. And I love the response that people feel safe to come out about their stories. It hurts how many there are. And it just further, it further sets in my mind that I would do this again. No matter how many fucking names I'm called, even if I have to disappear from the internet, I would do it all again.
Well, you just said you didn't want a career here anyway, so it doesn't really matter that you're disappearing from the internet, does it?
Seeing how many people it has helped and the space that it's created for other content creators to come out about their stories. I mean, even DMs I've gotten. People who aren't ready to come out publicly,
Oh.
but from bigger content creators.
Are you telling me that you're having conversations in private with emotionally vulnerable assault survivors one-on-one? All jokes aside, what are we have to start talking about that conversation, because like what's happening here is she's lying about any type of trauma that exists, unconditionally lying, objectively. Sorry, just making it very clear about my stance on there. I don't want anybody to think otherwise. And now she's apparently talking to people in private about their potentially traumatic events. That just feels like you're in a position of power over these fans that is toxic, and you could potentially, in their vulnerable state, suggest trauma onto them that doesn't exist, which is a real thing. This is the problem, is none of these people have ever talked to like mental health professionals that will like explain this to you. Like when somebody's in an emotionally vulnerable state, it's easier to, they're more malleable. You can manipulate somebody into like thinking that they have a trauma that doesn't exist. So
bigger than me, smaller than me, and you guys sending me letters, sending me messages. Again, it breaks my heart knowing you guys have went through that, but it also is like, you know, I want to create this space that people feel safe to talk about that.
I want to create this Twitter space.
The bad response has been
Elon, help me.
A lot. Even the fact of fucking reporters messaging me asking for my fucking take on it all, or my comment on it. Actually fucking choke. Are you joking?
Are you joking? Are you seriously going to take this stunt that I've done and ask me to continue to perform it? Like, oh wow, crazy.
It's insane. I mean,
you know she would be fucking guzzling those reporters' comments if she looked good in this situation. But now she needs to disengage because she looks like a piece of dog shit. That's the problem. Thank you so much, Observet, for this 9-month small gut. Love the new setup, Papa. Very non-dramatic. Thank you. I know I gotta get some more stuff set up in the background.
Watching.
Thank you so much for the $5 from the Unknown Freaks. I know we do a lot of gooning here, but I appreciate you talking about survivors when these stories pop up. I'll be hearing healing to hear this stuff from you. I appreciate that. See, that's what I like. I appreciate that. I do. Because this whole fucking thing is ridiculous, dude. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
The position
because I genuinely couldn't fully ever understand what it's like to be the survivor of something like so horrific, like actual assault, like from a first-hand experience, and to like sit down and like come online and see some vapid piece of shit sensationalize her story and try to make it seem like it was yours. Like, in all honesty, this is like legitimate stolen valor. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's terrible. Thank you so much for the 3-month small gut from Brady Fox. My pants are currently floating. Okay, with your... Wow, incredible. I really got to start reading these before I read them. You know what I mean? Out loud. Oh my God.
Right now, watching thousands of people comment on your sexual assault story.
Wow, who would have thought that people would have talked about a thing that I decided to tell people about? That's like what I say. Like, if you don't want me to talk fucking gossip to my wife about whatever you're going to tell me in your real life, don't tell me. Sorry, sucker. That's just how it's going to go. If you don't understand that, you're a stinky little goose.
People fight each other over it. People use it as a talking point on a YouTube video or a podcast. You know, it being made into clickbait. It's insane.
I mean, you literally clickbaited the situation.
Watching
you turned tummy tickling into fucking sexual assault. Like, you're the clickbaiter here.
My experience that means so much to me.
I think that you need another thing that means something to you. If this is like, if this really means a lot to you, you need to be less boring. I don't know, because like very clearly, like this means a lot to you. What the fuck are you talking about?
Come down and simplified in just a few words or in a few sentences. So
like, even if you were assaulted, but you weren't, like, do you really want to centralize your entire personality about being a victim of sexual assault? Do you think that's healthy for you? Because that's what you're doing in this entire scenario. So
more digestible and more consumable for people. It's insane. I will be talking.
She's not the hero she's a hero we need, not the one that we deserve, guys, or something like that. I don't remember what it was about Batman.
As for his response,
I needed to stick to kinetic damage.
I don't have much to say. To me, it's very clear what's going on, but I know it may not be for a lot of people.
Maybe you need to get glasses, girl. You know, hopefully you have good health insurance.
Because I'm now cleared from the fog of believing shit.
She's at a point where she's doubling down so aggressively because she knows that she can't do anything otherwise.
He deleted the apology on Twitter, so that's not what I'm talking about. That was deleted. No, there's just, again...
Yeah, you know, my biggest criticism of George is he's a fucking pussy that wasn't hard enough on you. So, you know what I mean? And by the way, that's an okay response for him to have. It's okay for him to you know what I mean? Because he probably believes what she's saying, but she's probably a lying sack of shit. Sorry, I'm a little riled up. This stuff upsets me. I know people who are like personally affected by very aggressive, violent situations, and like this is super diminishing, and I'm offended on their behalf. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, this is fucking bullshit. Because I can't imagine, like, if you're you're somebody who was assaulted, it's got to be super hard to sit here and listen to this if you're like a commentator that was assaulted, because this has to like eat you up inside. No, I imagine this would fucking tear your guts out. Like, if I was actually assaulted and I heard this person, I would cry. I'm not even kidding. Like, I would legitimately cry. I'd be like, this is horrible. Like, I would just feel so invalidated. That, like, tummy tickling is on the same plane of being, like, fucking violently assaulted. Like, I would just fucking... It's crazy.
The 2 videos that have been made, which I don't even know where to start. I mean, and I could have even understood if it would have been I know we have different perspectives of the night, and I know I assumed stuff that I shouldn't have, but I'm still sorry for hurting you.
That's kind of what he said.
Period. But anytime, again, he readmits to the fact that he touched me without consent, it's followed with a but. It's followed with a yes, I touched
But I also touched him back.
Touched you. Yes, I didn't ask if it was okay.
But you reciprocated the touching. So based on the physical communication, the nonverbal communication, what he was doing was consensual. You admitted in this video that you were touching him back. What?
But you were smiling. But you seemed like you would have wanted it.
But you were reciprocating. Yeah, what a weirdo for, like, just reading body language.
But I assumed you wanted it because I'm fucking sick of it. I'm fucking sick of the butt.
That's probably why you touched your tits and not your butt. So.
I'm just so sick of it. And not even just that.
But he didn't touch your tits, right? So.
Put into this video where the entire video is picking apart my story once again.
Oh, wow. A guy's accused of sexual assault and he's defending himself. Like, what a bad guy. He should have just rolled over.
Picking apart every single thing I said. And once again, focusing on things that are irrelevant to the fact that you fucking touched me.
That's crazy.
I mean, being like, whoa, she said my friend left early, but really he left late.
What? My mom touched me when I was a kid. We were crossing the street and she was holding my hand, but I never told her that it was okay. Maybe I wanted to get hit by a car. You ever think about that, Mom? You never asked me if I wanted to live. You just made me out of an egg and a hot cum. I was not consensual. In all honesty, if you're a man and you were circumcised, you have more trauma than this girl. Because you don't have your fucking tip of your penis. And that, honestly, there's studies that say that you have body trauma from that. So, I'm a little body traumatized here. Okay?
What the fuck does that have to do with you touching me and not asking?
Just to be clear, I usually don't burp and I feel bad when I do. But I want to be disrespectful in this video.
Your friend wasn't there when it happened. Oh, this is all the stuff she left out. She left this out because she can't be trusted and is leaving important info out.
Yeah,
I left out
girls
the
be
people
tripping.
that were in that room that weren't there for my assault.
What assault?
I was talking about my assault.
What assault? What assault? What are you talking about?
They weren't there for it.
Why what are we talking about here?
He's put in this position, right?
Well, you lying about the people in the room is like it's all very problematic because you were trying to make it seem because she was trying to make it seem like it was just like her and her friend in a room of like 3 guys or whatever or something. It was the narrative, but like the reality is that it's just all part of this narrative framing that she was like vulnerable and couldn't blah blah blah. But like there was more people in there than she admitted. She was fine.
To pick out every inconsistency and especially pick out any information I didn't mention and to put it on a silver platter and be like, here's everything that she was kind of wrong about, and here's everything she left out. So she can't be trusted. And because I'm the one pointing it out, you can trust me. Because I'm the one putting it out there for you. You
came out with the accusation first. So like you're complaining that he responded. It's fucking wild. It's what an entitled personality.
Trust me.
Well, He's put in this position. We gotta
go. And again, he says
I should got more mining speed.
He conveniently didn't acknowledge my age.
Of 18? What's to acknowledge?
Despite the numerous,
I don't care. You're 18.
Opportunities.
And you were drinking at a party, and apparently you had the bracelet. Who cares? He didn't acknowledge my age. What do you want? What does that matter? What does it matter?
Conveniently didn't acknowledge the power imbalance.
I don't care. I don't care about power imbalance. I'm over the conversation about it because you don't know what you're saying. You're like a dumb fucking kid. Okay? Power imbalances exist everywhere. There's always a power dynamic in every singular relationship, and they are so numerous, and we can count them all. Okay? A parent has a power dynamic over a child. Does that mean that when the parent disciplines their kid, it's always abuse? Absolutely not. Does that mean that when the parent tells the kid to do something that's abuse? Absolutely not. There's a power dynamic between men and women in general, just virtue of existing. Does that mean that anytime a guy and a girl are together, there's a fucking abusive dynamic? Absolutely not. And like, frankly, considering the public atmosphere right now when it comes to false rape accusations and false assault accusations, she's the one with the power dynamic. If he had sat here and said, hey, I'm a Minecraft YouTuber, if you suck my dick, I'll fucking platform you, that's abuse of a power dynamic. If he says, if you don't do something with me, if you don't let me tickle your tummy, I'm going to ruin your career, that's an abuse of a power dynamic. But you liking him a lot because he's famous is not abuse of a power dynamic. You are a fucking groupie. You are a fucking groupie. Groupies have existed for fucking thousands of years. I'm sure William Shakespeare had groupies. I'm sure Mozart was getting his fucking balls tickled. I don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You snuck into you lied about your age to sneak into the room to hang out with these people. Ugh. Shut the fuck up. Again, it's buzzword central, dude. It's just buzzword central.
He conveniently doesn't remember these things. I mean, and then he says stuff like, well, I'm a good guy. Obviously, he's gonna fucking say that. You think that if he genuinely is the person to kind of be like this, that he would go on his...
To be like what?
On an edited fucking video and be like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. Yeah, I purposefully... Oh, yeah, I knew her age. He's not gonna say that. He's a...
What? You were 18 and a half. If we're gonna be technical, I guess. So
fucking career to protect. He's gonna say whatever the fuck he needs to.
She's going conspiracy mode, dude. This is incredible. Hey guys, who did it better, Jordan Peterson or this girl in her conspiracy theory?
He has so much at stake. I have fucking nothing left. Like,
exactly. Exactly. That's the power dynamic that exists. You have nothing at stake. You're somebody who doesn't even want to make content anymore. You don't give a shit. And he has everything to protect his entire career. You're going to go on about fucking power dynamics. Can we acknowledge that this is like a real thing? That like absolute nobody fucking anybody's can come out and leverage false accusations against somebody and disappear from the internet without a trace. Zero damage done. But like people who are creators, they can potentially have permanent career damage due to it. Like power, that's a power dynamic. That is a power dynamic. That is a power dynamic. If that scenario in and of itself is a power dynamic. Let's just be absolutely clear. It's time to talk about it more. If you can do anything, if you can do something like this and get away with it without any real like damage to your livelihood, because her career, she's already admitted that she doesn't want to do her career. That's a power dynamic worth talking about. So, like, yes, like you're just admitting that, like, that you have a significant power dynamic over him.
It's obvious to me.
Thank you so much for the $2 from Pasta Muncher 42. Gaslight, gatekeep. My pants are full of stop.
Kind of people that these people are. I mean,
these people.
He can get on a video and sit there and admit to touching me without consent. And then he can bury it. He brings up all these screenshots, all these different details that are irrelevant in the night. He brings this up on purpose. So that's what you guys talk about. He brings up, oh, well...
Damn. Now, according to her, he's a legitimate, methodical, manipulative predator. Just to be clear, that's the new accusation. The way that she's talking about this is like he's like a methodical, manipulative predator. Like, that's what this is right now. That's what she's saying. She's being like, this is what's happening right now.
These are texts from Dream and Ghosty.
Oh, cool.
Why do I fucking care about text between Dream and Ghosty when I'm talking about you fucking...
Because they were there?
...touching me. He brings up these texts and he brings up this irrelevant stuff to distract you guys. He's distracting you guys. He's bringing this up.
Dude, you actually do sound like fucking Jordan Peterson. What the hell?
To be like, here, look at this.
The woke mob is trying to kill us. He's trying to kill people through climate change. Infrastructure. They're trying to implement these new technologies that are more expensive to kill the poor. It's just a way for the elites to protect their wealth Me, of course, I am a millionaire, but I am not one of those elites. Incredible.
Here,
I'm gonna die
debate
here.
this. Here, talk about this. Oh, and by the way,
Oh,
I did
by the
touch her
way.
and I didn't ask. And yes, that's the thing she's coming out about.
Got her. Maybe he just moved and then like accidentally touch. Like, I mean, come on, what do you really got to touch? I'm sorry, that's inappropriate. Okay, I just don't like this person.
Look at this. It's so obvious to me. I mean,
Wow.
even like, you know,
You know what's obvious to me? The fact that Ethan Klein hasn't talked about this means that she wasn't assaulted, because he would have jumped all over this. Let's just be clear. It is the truth. He would have been all over this if it was a real thing, or if he thought it was real. But he's not. That's my proof. That's all I needed.
and stuff that
This is a popular story.
my first video, I confirmed I came out about the fact that about the
You just confirmed that you touched him back. So you're a predator, by the way. I'm arresting you.
messages, but him saying, "Let's switch from Instagram DMs to go to Snapchat."
Oh God! And then what?
What is the point of texting on Snapchat versus Instagram?
I don't know. So you could send your cock and tits, and it doesn't save it. I'm gonna die.
The only reason we didn't continue on Snapchat is because I didn't want to continue there.
Oh, okay, cool. So just to be clear, when somebody says, "Can we go to Snapchat from Instagram?" what they're like obviously trying to like hide something. Like, but it's not a big deal. Like, I send my wife my cock on Snapchat because it's not like, that's just what I like to do. That's like what that platform is for. When I was talking to girls, I would send it on Snapchat. Like, that's the coolness of Snapchat. You could sext underage girls and no one knows. Sorry guys, that was my Chris D'Elia coming out. No, you message girls and it like goes away. That's just what the platform is for. That's why people use it. And so like, she's like, yeah, he did that. And then I gave him my Snapchat and then I didn't want to do it anymore. So we didn't. Yeah, that's how dating and flirting works. Sometimes people don't want to do it anymore. And then you stop and then that's cool. And we're kind of done. It's incredible. Thank you so much for the 1 month small gut from Kofthel. Vampire Survivors Goes Crazy on your new PC. Thank you. This is actually Deep Rock Survivor, Galactic Survivor. But it's still pretty much the same premise. So.
But in the middle of a convo being like, let's switch to Snapchat, where
Whoa.
Messages and pictures disappear. I mean, I just feel...
Oh God! What? How does it work? Is it like a phantom? They just disappear? Seriously, how does it work, guys? What's the technology like?
Like, these kinds of people are so smart and so calculated. I feel like it's so obvious. What
are you talking about? Are you like an idiot? Are you a bumbling fucking idiot? Like, you do not know how? These are things that we all know about Snapchat. So it's like you telling us this, like oh my God, you're unveiling something so interesting. No, you're not. You're telling us something we know. You knew. That's why you probably did it too, because it's fun. Because you get to be you get to flirt with him and then not have like any evidence of it. So who cares? What are you talking about? She's acting like this guy's a fucking child predator.
But I also acknowledge why people wouldn't see it because
I'm an idiot.
They are very convincing.
Wow. Let me just be clear, George. This George guy is not convincing of anything. This guy is he's not exactly the most manipulative or compelling person in the world. He's a fucking Minecraft YouTuber. Like I'm not trying to insult the guy, but it's like, what? What is he convincing of? Like, he's like this deep, methodical fucking predator. Like, what the fuck do you think this guy is? Thank you so much, The Unknown Freaks, for the $2. Can we get a second gift, Papa? Oh, sure.
And honestly, I acknowledge, I mean, it's fine if you don't believe me.
It's not fine. You're crying about it.
I would also like to point out, every source that he's getting, if you've noticed, anytime he says, well, she seemed comfortable, and I even asked, the person he's getting to confirm his point of view is his best friend.
Oh, no. Didn't you use stuff of your friend, too?
Or, the guy that he called in the video, again, his friend. The three guys that were there, the one guy I didn't mention. And
I forgot that, guys. I mean, listen, I understand, like, generally speaking, your friend can be an unbiased source, but, like, you lied verifiably. This whole thing is a big nothing. Who he gets to back him up is irrelevant, because you were already guilty before that.
The other two are all friends.
Oh, this is probably a good gift.
He says, well, she wasn't uncomfortable. Well, she seemed like she was fine. And I asked Dream about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's his best friend that is helping him make these videos. He is quite literally helping him and sending...
Damn, Dream, you're helping your friend clear his name of false sexual assault allegations. You're such a bad guy.
...him stuff to make these videos, these edited responses that he's making. He's making them with Dream. Like, and then he's using Dream as a source to tell if I was okay or not. I mean, and this friend whose career is also on the line because they've built their careers together. If he goes down, they both go down. They're obviously gonna back each other up. And I do acknowledge, this is me acknowledging.
Is this a good one too, guys? Do you like this this gif?
I can also be a hypocrite in this situation because I had a best friend there. Obviously, my best friend was there. So it's these 3 guys who were friends, and then me and my best friend. But I would also...
My best friend. Oh! What is that? What is that, a TikTok thing?
I like to point out... Two girls that were there. The 2 girls, the one...
Oh, God.
From
2 girls were there? How many cups, you think? 1? Singular cups?
a screenshot that said, mentioned the age difference and, like, was mentioning
how...
we...
the age difference of a consenting adult to a consenting adult. I flirted with a consensual adult as a consensual adult. I'm a victim.
It was. And then the other girl that mentioned that, the other girl that was there during the assault that texted me...
What assault? I'm not understanding what she keeps saying. What assault is she talking about, dude? What are we watching? I thought this was a Minecrafter.
The day after.
Is she actually an MMA fighter?
And said, "Are you okay? I was really uncomfortable with how touchy George was being."
Crazy.
Those 2 girls, I met 2...
They grew up to be fucking Laverne and Shirley. I knew it, dude. I knew I recognized them from somewhere.
days prior. Those 2 girls
I don't care.
weren't my friends.
Oh,
They
shit.
were lovely, lovely girls, yes.
How many people were there? I thought, what? Oh, all right, wait. Is she referring to the 2 girls in the lobby? She's referring to, like, people in the lobby that noticed that she was fucking shit-faced. Is that what she's talking about? I don't care about them. They weren't in the room. It doesn't matter.
But I met them 2 days prior.
Oh,
and
God.
after VidCon, I never spoke to them.
Did you cuddle with them, too? Seems like you like doing that. Cuddling with strangers, you fucking weirdo.
Again. My most recent texts from them are after I came out about my story.
Wow.
These aren't people that,
Cool.
you know, these are people that I had just met.
Cool.
And both of the...
George is somebody you just met, and you admitted to touching him back as you touched you consensually. Maybe you shouldn't engage in hookup culture. Maybe you shouldn't get drunk if you can't handle it. So,
These girls
guys, I got drunk off 2.5 Smirnoff Ices. I was blacked out, dude. It was fucking crazy.
were uncomfortable with the situation.
Well, you know what they say, guys. Other people, whatever you do between you and someone else, everyone else also gets to have a say about whether it was consensual. So, okay.
And it's okay if you don't believe me, or if you don't believe him, or if you don't believe either of us, because our point of views are biased. I mean, my point of view is probably really biased because I'm the one that got felt up.
Yeah, and you're also an idiot, so it's kind of biased there.
I mean, I'm not going to feel great about the situation.
Cool.
But if you're wondering, like, who you...
Like, are you saying that he was, like, bad with his hands? Damn, 26-year-old George, he isn't even good with his hands. You made her feel like shit. George, you fucking virgin!
Trust on saying how these people are behind the scenes, really acknowledge and really pay attention to the people that are speaking out.
No.
Pay attention.
I did. I did. We did. And it's, you're lying, so I don't care.
To the people that surround them to this day. Pay attention to the people that haven't spoken out but have distanced themselves. And pay attention to the people that are speaking out.
Oh, God.
Because I
God.
can tell you, it's not just me. It really isn't.
Oh, God.
And there are other...
Yeah, this came in a wave of fucking annoying idiots with this whole situation. Like, a wave of people leveraging, like, false, like, abuse accusations and shit.
Things that have happened. But that isn't my story to tell. I can only tell so much because those aren't my stories. You know, other things, those aren't my stories to tell. But it's...
I mean, this isn't even your story to tell, so it's like a lie. Talking about.
Is that it's just
so sad.
You
start crying because I believe you, because you know what, you're too cold and emotional.
Don't worry, I'm trying to not prolong this. The 3 main things I said in my first stream, and the 3 important things in this story: age, power, and consent.
Right. You were of legal age. There was no leveraging of his power against you. And what was the other one?
I said in my first stream, and the 3 important things in this story: age, power, and consent.
Right, and you consented. Sorry. Again, you guys were mutually flirting, cuddling, mutually touching each other, and then he tickled you, which you've now decided is him groping you and touching your boobies, which, by the way, still wouldn't have made him some kind of a fucking predator, because based on the natural progression of the what was happening, where you cuddled, That would have been a reasonable response for him to have. Okay, again, I believe in very, I believe in enthusiastic verbal consent. But you want to know what, guys? That's not always how it happens. In fact, most of the time, it doesn't happen like that. Okay, so you're giving off all the signs that it's okay, and so I don't know what to tell you. Kind of over it.
2 things. Again, he's conveniently not acknowledged, or conveniently didn't acknowledge at the time.
Don't care.
The age gap, obviously.
18, dude. You're 18. I don't care. Age gap. You're a fucking grown adult. You're a legal adult. I don't care.
Again, my story's about consent, but these are really important.
No, they're not.
These will explain.
These are buzzwords. This is you buzzwording. Ooh, like that.
And my thought process, just the way things played out. The age gap. Yes, it's
you didn't think of any of these in the moment. This is things that like you thought about afterwards, so you can paint yourself as a victim.
Important to know. Again, not freshly 18, freshly out of high school. 18 and 5 months, and he was 26.
And you said, and it was, and he also thought you were 21, so it doesn't matter.
It's also important to acknowledge this age gap because of the experience gap.
Okay, cool.
The way that he came out in his video and said what he did to me was tame for him.
It was tame for anybody. This motherfucker didn't even, like, you said he tickled you. I don't believe the whole tit things. This guy did literally nothing. This guy's getting canceled for being a fucking a predator because he coddled you and tickled you. It's very tame. It's very tame, dude. Crazy.
How it's something that has affected me so much.
Oh, that's so sad. Now it does because you got fucking dumpstered, but no. This was not traumatic to you. Shut up.
Because it was the first time. And if I could have...
It was the first time. I remember my first time, dude. I was terrified. I couldn't come. I was fucking terrified. Then for like a year after that, I couldn't even get hard anymore because I was so embarrassed with myself. I'm traumatized. My ex traumatized me because she had sex with guys before me. And, guys, the experience gap. Just another reason. This is another way that we go so far left, we go right. Guys, it's time. Like I said before... No, you're not allowed to have sex before marriage. Your father and your mother have to choose who you marry. No, because these adults, these legal adults, they're not grown enough to consent or to make their own decisions anymore. We have to go back to the good old days when you were forced to marry somebody you didn't love, because by getting them vetted from your dad and getting 8 cows in exchange it's time. It's time. That's where we're at.
If I knew, I wouldn't have.
What is this?
You know, if
a
I had
handheld micrometer?
Where my first time being sexual or whatever, I would have not picked there. I would have not picked it in front of multiple people.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't stop you from getting assaulted. They're such bad people. I can't believe they didn't do that. It's crazy. Like, why wouldn't they do that?
But again, it's important how it was tame to him, but also the age gap of, you know, if that was tame to him, or if he's done stuff like this before, you think he'd know better.
Done stuff like this before.
The power imbalance.
Yeah, you think he would have gone further. You think he would have actually touched her tit.
No, I didn't fucking bring up power and say how I was excited to be there because of his clout. I wasn't fucking using him for his clout. That's not why power is important here.
You said that you were excited. What are you talking about?
Him going and being like, I feel used. Fucking cry me a river. That's not why I brought up the power. Why power is important in this is because...
Did you just say white power is important? Oh my god, dude, cancel this racist. I fucking knew it. I could tell. She seems like one of those white women that would weaponize her white tears in order to get an innocent man killed. I knew it, dude.
I looked up to them. I was an aspiring creator, and these were the biggest creators in the industry. Like,
okay, so then you want, and so you hung out with them for attention. You only hung out with these guys for attention. Okay, cool. They're the biggest creators. That means that I lose my ability to be a human being, and I can't say anything anymore because they are creators. And shut the fuck up, everybody. Like, stop. Just stop.
I before I started streaming, I watched these people. I watched
Whoa!
them. Like, I did that
wow!
Shit.
Wowee!
I looked up to them.
Whoa!
I was excited being around them.
Wow!
I was excited to be around such
Whoa!
successful.
I thought you said that you confused your fear for excitement, though. Wow.
People, not because I only see people for their followers, but because I've looked up to these people.
Whoa.
And that's why it's
well. Maybe maybe it's because you're so short.
So much more heartbreaking. I mean, being violated is one thing, but who it comes from is also.
Who was I'm not understanding who was violated. Who was it? What? Yeah, let's do this.
Again, it's not. I wasn't gonna use this and use their clout. Also, I stayed silent for so long because I knew how much power they had. I mean,
Women, when they don't talk for 3 months, I was silent for so long.
There are people to this day that stay silent about their experiences because of what's happening to me right now.
Well, I think it's because their experience they realized wasn't traumatic, and they don't want to look as stupid like you do.
You saw what has happened to me since I came out, about how smart they are with these situations and how there's people,
They're so smart. They made sure to not make me actually uncomfortable in the moment so I can't complain. They're so fucking manipulative. Oh my goodness.
Creators that have messaged me about their stories but say they're still scared to do it. I mean, it's even the fact of the power in the situation of we have the same fucking Twitch manager. Like,
whoa, oh my god, the Twitch manager fucking raped her too. Holy shit. I knew it. I mean, there's something about it. He probably had probably has Tourette's, and he had like a little spasm or a twitch and touched her, and guys, that's probably sexual assault actually, now that we're thinking about it. I'm allowed to make that joke, guys, because I have Tourette's, so it's okay.
I had so much at cost.
What?
I put up with it all.
You like begged to get into that party. What are you talking about? Like, you're acting like you fucking magically appeared there like a silly little goober.
Happened. I didn't want it to happen, but you know, I was just trying to forget about it because we have the same Twitch manager.
Oh,
the
same
reason
Twitch
I was
manager.
at VidCon in the first place, the reason I got a meet and greet back in TwitchCon and got to meet my viewers for the first time, moments that mean so much to me, was all thanks to my Twitch manager.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Without that, I wouldn't be able to do content. I wouldn't be able to continue. And they told me, again, they didn't tell me in a malicious or threatening way, but I just learned that night, again, through questions and games we were playing, they have the same Twitch manager that would do anything for them. I mean...
What are you trying to do? Okay. Gotcha. So he was, threatening you, or what's the narrative now? It's so boring.
If I came out about anything, I'm not saying they would have used that, but...
You actually are saying that. You're heavily implying it. What are you talking about? This is gonna fuck me up.
I hope you guys would understand how I was in a place of, I was scared of their power, you know, and I acknowledged their power in their fate, not because I was acknowledging them for their numbers and not for who they were as a person, but because I acknowledged that my future could be over.
Did I just say white man? No? Is this like, is she another like annoying fucking like a poopy monster?
Because of the connections that they had, even in my own
power dynamics. You have the power dynamics to fucking shit on my ass. Oh god, let's see. I'll just see something real quick. This is a beam. Is this also a beam? Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for the $5 from Carmine Circello. Am I saying that right? Circello. She kind of looks like Belle Delphine. Maybe this is a way out. Out of. I don't know what you're saying. Maybe this is a way out of the OF. Oh, way out of the OF life. Does she do OF? Let's see. $80. No, she doesn't. Well, I mean, at least she has that option to do that if she wants to. She has that route to take if she wanted to.
Life, like in my own success that I was having as a creator, my biggest, contributor to that success was someone that they were also tied to and had way more, say over. And also the biggest thing about power in that situation, again, I had so much at risk.
What did you have at risk? You wanted to go there. What was that risk?
I had to suck up what happened to me. That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing happened to you. Like, you're acting like you actually had sex, and if you didn't, it would have ended. Like, you weren't interested, and he took that hint, and nothing happened to you or your career. That's the entire thing. Nothing happened between the two of you, and nothing happened to your career. Literally nothing happened. At all. You were telling us that you no longer wanted to talk to him on Snapchat, so you just stopped. If this was true, that this fucking incredibly fucking pervasive power dynamic existed, then you would have felt pressured to stay and only talk on Snapchat. It doesn't make any sense what you're saying. It's crazy, bro. Oh yeah, let's get the fire. Let's get some fire, dude. Oh yeah.
With it, I'm saying that because I didn't put my future at stake because I got assaulted.
No, you didn't.
But also the power that he took by doing it in front of people.
Wow. Oh yeah, because he's a predator. That's because this. I'm being serious when she's trying to make him seem like a predator. The power that he took by doing it in front of people. He's manipulative in the way that he's pushing the narrative. He was smart in how he was pushing the narrative. The guy, she's accusing this guy of being like a malicious, methodical predator. It's crazy. Thank you so much, Pasta Muncher, for another $2. She's at the same stance as Dream's face reveal. What? Oh, like the side. That's the Minecraft side pose, dude.
Very shy person. It's hard for me to say, you know, to stand up for myself in regular situations. But
oh, well, then you shouldn't be socially interacting. I don't care. Like if it was a man that didn't stand up for himself when somebody was bullying him, we would have said you need to learn to stand up for yourself. So why the fuck do I care about this? I don't care. Learn to fucking stand up for yourself. But nothing happened for you to stand up to, so it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't give a shit. You're a fucking legal adult. Like, grow up. Fucking this is the problem. We have all these people that want to blame everything else, all their problems on everybody else, take no accountability for their own problems and their own mistakes. Like, when once you decide to do that, you forfeit your fucking you forfeit your agency, because now it's just like, I can't do anything about anything. I guess I might as well just shit my pants. I can't do anything. Like, take some fucking blame onto yourself to control your life. Like, why do you want to surrender your life to everything else? It's pathetic. Shut up.
I feel like if that sexual move, or, you know, wanting to take it to the next level, if it was done in a private setting, maybe I could have mustered up enough courage to say, no, I'm not comfortable with this, or to rip his hands out of my fucking bra.
So I'm sorry, let me just be clear. If it was done in private, you would have felt more empowered to stop it, but since it was done in public in front of people, you felt less empowered. That literally makes zero fucking sense to me whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense to me. You would feel like you had more of the ability to stop what was going on if it was in public, because there's other people watching. What are you talking about? She's so dumb. The Fa machine. Welcome to the small god. Thank you, brother.
But he did it on a couch with other people sitting next to us.
Wow. And they just let you get raped. That's fucking crazy.
With other people in the room.
Wow. Wow.
You know,
wow.
Any expression I did, anything I did, it was on display for other people. He took the power away from me in that situation.
What are you talking about? Okay.
And once again,
I guess he has a little bit of a public kink. He's a little kinky.
Consent aspect. I understand if you think I'm full of shit. I understand if you don't believe me at all. I understand if
I was actually assaulted, I would never say I understand why you don't believe me. I would never even sit here and try to fucking empathize with that. Fuck out of here.
Two things you think I'm full of shit about. You know, who cares about the age? Who cares about, you know, the power imbalance in the situation?
There was none.
The consent is always fucking there.
You're a groupie, bitch. You were a groupie. You were a poopy groupie.
He admitted. I never gave verbal consent. Again, the only question he asked is, "Are you ticklish?" I said, "Fucking no." Like, there was no consent.
Okay, and then you just admitted to us that you were touching him back. That's what you said. You admitted that you were cuddling and you touched him back. So, like, what's the conversation that's left to be had here? Honestly, what's the conversation?
Consent given. It doesn't matter if you're laughing. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter where you are.
She's getting fucking buzzword central. Don't matter who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you tickle me. Who you are, where you're from. I'm trying to do multiple like vocal lines at the same time. Sorry.
An invitation. And for everyone saying, well, you could have gave nonverbal consent, I will tell you right now, if I was given the opportunity to give even nonverbal consent, my answer would have always been no.
Well, but you did. You were touching him back. You admitted that. So you were giving him nonverbal consent.
I'm asexual.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm also sexual. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're asexual. None of this matters. This actually would make sense. First of all, she's not asexual. She's a fucking loser with absolutely no personality. That is going to be anything in the book that's unprovable that she could just say for attention. She's the same thing as the 13-year-old pretending to be non-binary. By the way, non-binary people exist. But there's a lot of people who are young, who don't have a whole lot big personality, who are trying to be unique in different ways. We all did it. I was super into metal, right? Like, I like metal music, but like, you over-identify with something. That's what this is. Just being clear, okay? That's number one. Number two, if you were asexual, he doesn't know that. So when you're fucking flirting back with him and touching him back, he doesn't know that. He's not going to know that. Like, but you're not asexual. Like, it's just a fucking. This is just insane. Fuck out of here. You're not. You're boring. That's what it comes down to. You're a boring person. You're boring. That's what it is. You're boring and you need something to keep you fucking going. You know? Be good at go do a hobby. Go do crocheting or something. Do something that you're proud of, because because your whole life is, this is the problem. This is like legitimately something. These creators are growing up and they're like adults now. So they're like 20 years old and they're like, wow, I'm still playing a kid's game for a living. This doesn't satisfy me or fulfill me. That's what's happening. Okay. And now she feels stupid and self-conscious and everything. And she's like, well, actually, I'm a fucking Therian bird. Thank you so much for the $5, Tregan Dude. Hey, what's going on, brother? Glad to see this story has a final draft. Loved all the changes. It makes it very believable. Exactly, dude.
Don't like sexual stuff.
What's happening at the top left? That's what's happening.
Given the option of doing something sexual, my answer is going to be no. I'm on the spectrum of asexual.
The spectrum of asexual. Oh my god, dude. I'm fucking on the spectrum of everything right now because this is giving me brain rot. She's on the spectrum of just to be clear, why she's saying she's on the spectrum is because she's not asexual, but she wants to be on the spectrum. She's reading Tumblr posts from fucking 16-year-olds on the internet that are bored and aren't allowed to go out, or not allowed to go outside. People who've crafted fantasy scenarios during COVID because they weren't allowed to go outside. And now she's talking about how she's on the spectrum of asexuality because she wants to place herself somewhere that is like intangible, that we can never prove or disprove. That's all it is. That's all it is, dude. That's the reality of the situations. You can't believe people like this when it comes to like their fucking anything. I'm on the spectrum of it. What does that mean? That you like to have sex, just not with GeorgeNotFound? I'm only asexual when it comes to other Minecraft YouTubers. But
which I don't know if it's because of my bad experiences.
Oh my god, dude. She's on the spectrum because she was sexually assaulted. The tickle monster, dude. Oh my god, dude. Actually, I would expect you to become hypersexual if you were actually sexually assaulted. Not to be like rude, but that is one way that it can, like, or in my understanding is that like sexual assault will manifest in hypersexuality more than it's going to manifest in asexuality. But I could be wrong. But that's my understanding. So your story doesn't actually make sense.
Anything sexual makes me extremely uncomfortable.
Well, you sound like a kid or something, you weirdo.
So let's say
and you shouldn't have been touching him back.
The circumstances, I'm drunk and I could have gave nonverbal consent.
Yeah.
I would have still said no.
But you didn't.
Non-verbally. However the fuck I could have done that.
But you would have done it by like touching him back? That's how you did. Is that non-verbal consent to you?
And again, I'm fucking drunk. Oh.
What's funny here though is that she's telling us that she has the capacity. What she's doing here, she could have very easily said there's no such thing as non-verbal consent, but instead she's like, no, it does exist. I just didn't do it. And it's like, oh, you like, that's funny. Like it hurts. It's gonna hurt your argument more. Because your people are already like the biggest thing that they're harping on is that nonverbal consent doesn't exist. I'm 14 years old and I don't know what a fucking booby is, you know?
You were laughing. Oh, you were doing being drunk with my friends. How?
Okay, you were drunk. Yes. Just to be clear, if you hit somebody with a car and you fucking killed them when you were drunk, you don't get to say, "Oh, I was drunk. It's not my fault." So you are still responsible for your actions when you're drunk. Contrary to popular demand, where we've like completely assassinated the conversation, being drunk doesn't mean that you're not responsible for your decisions, and it doesn't mean that you can't consent. Being so drunk that you're passed out and unable to move, that is when you can't consent. Okay, just because you're drunk doesn't mean you cannot consent. It's just a fact. Enough is enough. I understand that you saw a poster in the subway when you were on a fucking class field trip to a museum that said, when Jamie drank, she couldn't consent, but Josh was drunk and he could. But like, that's not nuance. All that's saying is, hey, don't get drunk. It's bad. It's a scare tactic. Okay? That's all it is. It's a scare tactic for kids so that they don't get drunk. In the same way where schools will tell you that your cock and vagina will explode if you have sex once and you'll instantly get pregnant. And then people find out that that doesn't happen and they start having lots of sex. Okay? So that's the reality of the situation. It doesn't matter that you were drunk. I don't care. You are a legal adult. Act like one. And what happens though is when situations like this happen and she's not blamed and her agency is taken away by people that are like, no, she couldn't have consented. Like that's why she's such an immature piece of shit, because nobody is like putting on to her responsibilities. They're all like letting her get away with saying and doing whatever she wants. Like that's what the problem is. Like that's what it is. If people just ignore this narrative, she won't be able to like latch onto it, and then all of a sudden like she's going to start growing up more. So this is good for her maturity, for people to not believe anything that she's saying, because she's very clearly a lying piece of poop.
How did I... The reason I brought up this entire situation and what I was hoping to bring light to, this wasn't about him. This wasn't about him. I was trying to bring light to blind idolization. How dangerous it is. Coming from someone who was a viewer, how dangerous it is to blindly idolize these people that.
So first of all, I don't care. That's a good message. Don't blindly idolize people, because you're still the fucking at fault. If you blindly idolize somebody and worship them and do too much and act too much, that's on you, man. That's on you. If you're willing to do things for people because you blindly idolize them, that's on you. But that's not what happened here, right? Because again, you very clearly didn't blindly idolize this guy because you guys didn't do anything sexual. You've made up a new narrative about booby touching in this fucking video. All he did was cuddle with you and tickle you. Like, this guy's too much of a pussy to pull the trigger, honestly. Like, maybe he's asexual.
That you don't know. And I always tell my viewers that, to not idolize me to the point of defending me till, like, you die.
You have your viewers telling you, apparently, about their traumatic sexual assault stories in your DMs. You are absolutely engaging in a parasocial relationship. So I don't know what like, that would fall under this idolization situation. That, like, that's not healthy behavior, to be talking to some fucking idiot Minecraft YouTuber with no qualifications for anything about this supposed trauma. And they don't have trauma, because obviously they think that she has trauma, which means that if you think that, then you obviously don't know what trauma is. But, like, that's a problem. So
you know, it's unhealthy. People aren't gonna be. Not everyone is who they seem.
I got my 3,000.
And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's
you guys
important
remember Danny
to swallow
Phantom?
it. You know what I mean? Like,
you guys remember Danny Phantom?
and especially in these kind of situations where you idolize someone to the point of where something bad comes out about them, and you just dig.
She's acting like she has, like, a legitimate mental condition over this person. Like, just because you liked somebody a lot doesn't mean that it's like this idolization to the point where, like, you lose the ability to be rational or reason. Or engage in any reason. So
for excuses for them, just so many excuses instead of just accepting it. You know, that's where it gets dangerous. That's where it's dangerous for everyone involved. It's again, I know how hard something like this can be to accept. It's like, you know, if your best friend, you know your best friend so much, and someone comes to you and says they did something to them.
Just to be clear, this GeorgeNotFound guy could die tomorrow, and I would not care. I don't like him. He's a fucking 20-something-year-old Minecraft YouTuber. You think I'm believing this guy because I like him? No. He's a kind of a loser. And he didn't even get any. Like, that's kind of cringe. He was cuddling with a girl for an hour and he couldn't get more than a tickle monster. Come on. It's kind of L Riz, if you ask me. It's nothing to do with, like, liking this person. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't want to believe it because you know your best friend and you don't think they could ever do that. I mean, look at them.
Oh, dude, I dealt over 1,337 damage in one attack. That's elite.
Because you know them so well, except you
don't. They're manipulative.
Don't fucking know these people.
You don't know these people.
You don't know these people. They aren't your best friend.
Oh God, I thought they were.
People that create content.
Oh God, I thought that George was my best friend. Oh my God, my world is shattered. My world is shattered.
To millions of people, they aren't your best friend.
Oh
like,
my God.
You don't know who they could be. And again, and that's why I think it's so important. It leaves you in a situation where you're like, well, how can I trust anyone? How can I?
Oh, you can't, guys. You have to be completely overstimulated all the time and terrified of everything. Just so you know, that's where we are headed.
Important to see the people that do know. These content creators that have spent time with these people. These content creators that
all seem to be defending him. What the fuck?
Do know these people, have had private conversations with these people, speaking out against them. It's so blatant.
Well, what about the ones that are speaking out for them? We just discredit them because they don't agree with you?
Blatantly obvious. These people that have seen them behind the scenes, that have hung out with them, you know, that have distanced themselves since then, or that have
I don't care.
Spoken out against them.
Considering how, like, immature all these Minecraft spheres are, like, people instantaneously over-validating somebody's experience means nothing to me. Like, I'm assuming that they're referring to Mr. Beast. But, like, that's a complete optical play. Like, like, Mr. Beast is so insanely career-driven. Like, it's a complete optical play. So, thank you so much, Hark, for the $5. Yap Session sponsored by Samsung Ultra Wide and Microsoft Word. What is Samsung Ultra Wide? What the hell is that?
I was just hoping that this situation could open people's eyes.
Wow.
And again, how scary and how
That's
it's
scary.
just building more and more this
Oh my
devotion to these people.
These people. Who's these people? What is Leadstorm powered minigun? You guys know?
But I was just hoping to open some people's eyes, I guess. And it's definitely a problem bigger than me.
Does he start with the minigun?
This is just about
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
behind the scenes of this community, you know, and all the people that have fallen victim to it.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much shit that goes down, and I'm just one of the ones that have came
Like poop down the toilet?
out about my story. I don't want to sit here and
Dude, are you trolling me, dude? Is this guy trolling me right now? I think this guy's trolling me right now. Pop, I think you're being too critical of her. Sexual assault is serious, and you're treating her experience like she's Amber Heard. At Purple Giraffe, I'm serious. I expected better from Papa Good because he usually treats sexual assault respectfully, so I'm honestly shocked. There's no sexual assault. So what's to treat like anything? Nobody was sexually assaulted. Like, it's always interesting when somebody comes in, like, doesn't watch any of the other videos that I talk about. This is like the fucking third video that we're doing. And they come in like right after, and what are we at? The 2 hour mark? We're at almost a 2 hour mark, and you come in and you're like, I expected better of you. Come on. What's better of what? What was the assault?
I keep having to prove myself. I can't sit here and have to watch his responses and see his face and
You must be fucking trolling.
watch him describe it. I can't. I can't keep doing this, and I'm accepting the fact that maybe, you know, nobody believes me. I'm accepting the fact.
I honestly hope not. I hope that you get very mentally upset by this.
I'm accepting it. But also, I feel like, especially in this situation, there's nothing I could say that could change some people's minds. I think, again, because of this idolization.
Yeah, I love George so much. He makes me so horny.
This is how it's dangerous. How, no matter what I say, no matter what proof I come out about, people that don't want to believe will never believe. They will never believe, no matter what comes out. It's because they don't want to.
Yeah, you're right. I just don't want to believe. I've never validated sexual assault before, so...
They will continue to find excuses to not face reality.
It's crazy.
As for any forgiving or anything, I feel like it's very obvious. I was never in a position to forgive.
Dude, don't criticize my... This guy said that they're just one of my gaming skills. What's wrong with my gaming skills, dude? I think I'm doing good.
Anyone. I didn't go into this wanting to forgive anyone. And again, that is my choice.
Well, nobody did anything to you, so there's nothing to forgive. Did that person leave the second I called them out? Like, what happened?
But especially how I've seen the things play out. The way I've been treated.
Okay.
Especially since his responses.
I don't care.
I
hope you've been treated poorly.
would never forgive. I wouldn't.
Never forgive, guys.
I've been
never back down. Never what?
Blamed, invalidated.
Good.
Been called.
I'm proud of the internet, honestly. Very good.
A liar. Been called.
You are.
Amber Heard. Been called any name. Even
more like Amber Yap, because we're hearing her and she's yapping. Oh, was that a good one? Was that a good dad joke, guys? Shoots big slugs. This looks good. I like slugs.
No, he sat there and admitted to it. Again, it's not false allegations. When
it is.
I came out about my sexual assault story and he admitted to it.
But that's not what happened. So.
The amount of victim blaming, though.
Uh-oh, buzzwords. Stinky.
Has been insane. And in these situations, it's a very real issue that happens.
Wow, thanks for letting me know.
To this day, it happens all the time when someone comes out about something.
Thanks for
the
letting me know,
people
bro.
saying I shouldn't have been illegally drinking. Well, that's what you get for being, you know, illegally drinking.
Yeah, get those illegals out of here. No, so first of all, it's not what you get. Okay, there's a difference between saying you were drunk so you deserve to be assaulted versus saying like you being drunk doesn't mean that you no longer have agency over any action. There's a totally different thing. If you're blackout drunk, like yeah, that's crazy. That's not what happened. That's just not what happened.
You know, if I was in the UK, where I am most of the time, drinking legally at 18 and this situation still happened, what then? Because
what does that mean? What?
I know the people saying it's my fault because I was illegally drinking would just find another reason to blame me.
Okay, I understand what she's doing, and she looks really fucking stupid. Let me just tell you right now. So people were saying that like it's her fault because you were drinking illegally. She's focusing on the fact that like that it was the illegal drinking part that makes it her fault. When what they're like, but like, dude, if it was legal, you're still making a choice to drink. What are you talking about? What then? If I was legally drinking in Europe, does that change everything? No, it doesn't change anything. Not at all. What are you talking about? Anyway, thank you so much for the $5 from A5. I was Ashmash. Around that age, I was AR'd by my older then boyfriend while drunk. I said no over and over. He saw through my discomfort, screamed, "You're not going to say I argued." Well, that's pretty terrible. I'm sorry for you. That's terrible. That is clearly an actual thing. And this is a tickle attack. Look at this guy right here. You see this big guy here? He's trying to tickle me right now. Should I let him? Oh, no, sorry, brother. Can't have that happening. Not on my consent.
Even if I was legally drinking, they would find another reason to blame me. It's not about the drinking. It's not about
I'm a
the fact
victim,
that
Mom.
It's the fact that you just want to find a reason to blame me for the situation that happened.
I hate women.
To me.
That's the problem.
People saying that I shouldn't have been laughing. That I shouldn't. I was drunk. Oh my God, I was drunk.
God, I was drunk. You sound like a bad fucking theater actor.
Your mindset during that is it doesn't change what you want until.
Guys, I got drunk and I killed an entire family with my car as I was driving. But you don't understand. It changes your entire mindset. This is not my fault. I don't care that you were drunk. You weren't drunk beyond the ability to consent. He was also drunk. You guys were mutually flirting and touching each other.
Once and again, like. It's people saying I probably liked it, and now I just regret it. I didn't. I'm telling you, I didn't. It
doesn't matter. No, check this out. It doesn't matter whether you liked it or not. Liking it means nothing when it comes to consent. Like I'm sorry. I've had sex with girls I didn't like to. I didn't even want to. I felt bad. Everybody's been there. Consent doesn't mean you like something. I'm just being clear. Now, clearly you did because you were touching him back and laughing and giggling and smiling, but the liking nothing, that doesn't matter. The narrative doesn't matter. None of this matters. Oh God, I didn't see that. Too many explosions.
I don't know how loud I have to shout it. And again, I'm asexual. I would have never liked it and then regret.
I was asexual, guys. Everybody should know about this. By the way, she's not asexual. Everybody should know about this thing on the inside of me.
I would have never.
Look what Mr. Sign said.
Never liked it to begin with. I'm trying to tell you this. It's always a she shouldn't have done that. She should have done this. She shouldn't have been wearing that.
Have you seen her Linktree thing in her Twitter bio? She has a website talking about her boundaries. What?
He shouldn't have done this, rather than a simple he shouldn't have done what he did. It's never just a simple he should have controlled himself. It's always you know, her fault in these situations. And never his for not controlling himself. I don't get
not controlling himself. Bad acting, dude. You watched too much Seventh Heaven or something. I'll look at her boundaries after this.
And I would also like to point out, it's not a her and he situation. Because men get assaulted too, okay? Roles are reversed. That's assault. Men get assaulted too. It can happen to anyone. And that.
Wow, thanks for letting us know. I never, without you, brave stranger, I never would have known that.
That's very real. And that's a conversation that really should be had. But not in this situation.
Why? Wouldn't this be the perfect time to have it? I mean, you were saying that you were touching him back, so maybe you assaulted him. How do you know he didn't? How do you know he liked it? Oh, because he was touching you too. Oh, okay. So when you reciprocate that touching, it means you are consenting to it. But if not, then that means so. She basically, by her own logic, she's a sexual predator too. Just by her logic, she said it before. I'm harping on it because it's important. She said that she also touched him back. Okay. If reciprocating physical touch in this instance is not nonverbal consent, then you sexually assaulted him. Sorry. Thank you so much, Moral, for the $5. First time catching the stream. She's mad he didn't lay the pipe and had El Riz. This fake ass Disney acting is cringe. The Leviathans are coming. I agree, brother. Thank you, Hart, for the $2. If I was in the UK, what would have happened? Yeah, nothing.
It's not my fault for smiling. It's not my fault for being there. It's
guys. I thought I was excited, but I confused that for terror. I was terrorized. I was terrified.
It's just not.
That's crazy. Girl.
I acknowledge that I was naive. I acknowledge, but I'm not gonna.
Okay, but what does that mean? That naive?
Apologize for being naive and not realizing. You know, the way the world is sometimes, you know?
What? Okay, cool.
I would also like to acknowledge, this is another thing that I am going to acknowledge and take accountability for.
Tank it?
My goal for coming out about this all, I've strayed very far away from my goal. My goal when I came out about this was for it not to be about drama, for it not to be about canceling. And I know you hear that now, and you're probably thinking you're the biggest hypocrite in the world, and I acknowledge that.
So what was it about?
I have strayed.
What was it about?
Anytime I replied to him on Twitter, anytime I made a response on Twitter, anytime I was like, look at these screenshots, look, it opened the floor for it to be viewed as drama. And
this is always going to be drama. Explain to me what you mean by that. What was the point then?
You know, me trying to ruin his life. I made those tweets out of, I felt like I was backed into a corner. I made those tweets out of anger. Seeing him say he would have never like crossed someone's boundaries, it just... I was really upset, and I acknowledged by doing that stuff, I strayed away from my goal of why I did this all. But it is true that that was my goal in the beginning. For everyone that was really upset, and I acknowledged by doing that stuff, I strayed away from my goal of why I did this all. But
what's the goal, though?
It is true that that was my goal in the beginning. For everyone that watched...
What did she say her goal was? I feel like she didn't tell me.
...my first stream and didn't stop. That happened. People watched my stream, heard me tell my story, how scared I was, heard my story.
You weren't scared.
But stopped after the story was done. To go
you guys watched my stream where I was telling about my story, and then you stopped watching after.
Go in their notes app to write down every single detail about the guy that did it, to go to Twitter, to then form these bands and figure out who did it and who to attack.
I could have swore that it was explicit about who it was in the first place. Is she trying to say that she never did that?
It wasn't fucking about him. It wasn't about him. And if you would have...
Dude, am I fucking crazy? I could have swore that she brought him up in the first place. Is she fucking gaslighting us right now? I could have swore that it was understood immediately that it was about him.
All right, guys, let's get this
Shut
party
the
started.
fuck up, you fat piece of shit. I could have swore that from the fucking jump that this was about George is really good at hide and seek.
Hi, chat. Hi.
Wait, how do you, oh wait, there's a thing that I learned. You can how do you look at a transcript? Report. I'm just kidding. How do you look at the transcript? Oh, I'm so ugly. Somebody explain it to me. Explain it to me right now, or I'm gonna light myself on fire. Oh my god, it's right here. Can I search this now? Okay, it's not. How do I scroll? How does this work? Am I stupid? Now, she never said his name. But there's no way people wouldn't have instantly known, no? Like, who the fuck else would it have been? In the description? She gave enough clues for people to figure it out. There's no fucking way. She knew that this was going to come back onto this guy. There's no fucking way. I just don't believe her. Dude, I'm holding Control F, dude. What are you talking about? It's right here. Control F. It's right here. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I already figured this out. Oh, you can't see it because I got Elmo in the way. Elmo's too busy dancing. Anyway, yeah, bullshit. I do not fucking believe that. You gave details about the specific scenario, and like it's weird because I remember when I make this general point. I probably made it in the first video too. Was that like if she was just coming forward telling a story and it wasn't about somebody, then like that's different. But once you leverage accusations against somebody, it becomes a completely different monster, and people are obviously going to defend themselves. Like I doubt that she would watch my video, but it makes me feel like maybe that's possibly happened because that's something that I've said. Because once you target it towards somebody, it becomes something. But you were so descriptive about everything. Like you didn't just say like, "Hey, this thing happened to me once." You were like, "I was at fucking TwitchCon and I went into like a famous person's room." Like, who the fuck else would it be?
Listened past my story and listened to any of the things I talked about after. It's about victims. It's barely
what victim? Where is that person?
Even about me. It's me telling my story about assault. It's about assault, and it's about the things that go on behind the scenes.
Oh my god.
And it became this thing about him, about canceling him, about drama. It turned into this thing to spread hate and to spread, you know, people just fighting and picking sides, and then people commenting on it.
Yeah,
you know,
you're on the wrong side.
Commentary like it's a fucking sports match, and it's not real fucking life.
Okay.
She's
a closeted Papa Gut fan, probably. Who's not, though, to be honest with you?
I can't turn it off. I can't.
Bro, here you go. Here's what now. This is her out. This is her out in this situation. Okay, I was manipulated by the social media narrative to actually think what happened to me was traumatic, and it fucked me up. That's it. I had an uncomfortable experience, and like because of like online narratives are so crazy, I thought that what happened to me was like an actual assault, and like sitting down, I realized that it wasn't, and I was made to feel hysterical. Okay, there you go. Boom.
You can argue about it on Twitter. You can watch videos about it. You can talk about it on a podcast. You can make a video
What podcast is she talking about?
covering it. But then you can move on to the next hit topic. You can move on to the next trending thing.
Yeah, well, every time something new comes out, like this video, like people are going to talk about it again.
You can turn off your phone and it doesn't exist anymore. I can't turn off my life. I can't turn off my memories.
Okay.
I can't turn it off. It's something that happened to me.
Okay.
You know, anytime someone asks, what's the furthest you've gone? That's my story. That's what I'm
Tickle time. Okay. Great.
reminded of it, and I can't turn that off.
I don't care.
It's a real thing. It's real people.
I don't care.
The purpose
Real ingredients, Papa John's.
of me trying to come out about
Did H3 actually talk about it?
this. I was trying to bring, you know, I finally felt safe to tell my story. And for all the people in these situations that pressure other creators to make commentaries on it, that add
Commentaries?
other creators being like, say something, fuck you. What
Fuck
are you?
you.
What are you?
If those people were agreeing with you, you would have been like, thank you so much. The only reason that you're having this take is because they don't agree with you.
doing? Why are you begging at these other creators to say something, to make comments, just so you have more things to consume in this situation? These are real people.
You were just referencing, like, I swear to God, it was Mr. Beast. Like, people who are saying things or not saying things. Like, that's what you had said. And I'm pretty sure you were referring to them, like, removing Mr. Beast, removing him. So I don't know what you're talking about. You seem to be appealing just as much.
You don't know what they're going through behind the scenes. You don't know how they're processing it. I mean, imagine something like that happening to you, and then you're getting grilled to, it's not about any of them. It's not about them. It's not about him. It's about... Especially the creators that I never knew, I wasn't aware about, had stories that have reached out to me. You never know what someone's going through.
Crazy.
Adding someone in these kind of sensitive...
For all we know, we don't know. We don't. Maybe George is suicidal and you almost pushed him over the edge. And maybe he almost took his life because you lied about him. You never know what people are going through. Tingle. What is her name? Why did I say Tingle? Caitibugzz.
situations, telling them to speak on it. You don't know what they've went through.
You don't know what
You don't
they've
know
been
if
through.
they've went through
You don't know what
these
they've been
people
through.
too. You don't know.
You know what I just realized? She's as good of an actress as Deb is from Dexter. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember Deb? She's a bad actor. Riss.
It's disgusting to get these people, you know. And again, I do say acknowledge the people coming out about this,
I don't know
speaking
anything.
against it, and I am grateful for all the people that have. A lot of them are my friends, and a lot of them, you know, are creators that I look up to that have
But you said that we can't trust his friends, so how can we trust your friends?
reached out to me,
What the
making
fuck?
sure I'm okay.
Are you
But
okay?
also, I will
I'm
make
not
aware
gonna
that
wait.
this also does open, you know, the platform and open the ability for people to, you know, that aren't good to just speak on it and be like, yeah, I support you, just,
This guys, I've empowered other people to talk about their trauma.
you know. So it is hard to fully trust everyone, but anyway.
That's what happens when you become like an online creator as a kid. That's really what it is. We're gonna, unironically, within like 10 to 15 years, we're going to acknowledge like some kind of like an online content creation mental disease. Like unironically, I'm being serious.
I brought it up. I brought all this up. It became into this thing of picking sides and dramatizing it, making it into drama instead of focusing on the bigger
That's what dramatizing is now.
issue. Instead
Or I
of
guess dramatizing is like another word for like sensationalizing it.
focusing on the things that happen in the content world instead of focusing on the issues of blind idolization, you know? But people only cared about finding something else to argue about instead of just focusing on the main idea.
Oh my
And the
God.
biggest thing that I want to mention, and one of the last things, is
Okay.
people saying, why did you come publicly about this? Why didn't you keep it
I thought you were asexual. How are you gonna come? Got her.
private? Why did you? Because I saw what Shelby did.
Yeah, like I know that people get upset when I say this, but like what happened to Shelby wasn't some kind of like abuse. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like she was in a weird long distance relationship with a fucking disgusting slob. Was it toxic? Absolutely. But like this biting thing, like honest, I'm tired of the online narrative. It's not good, but like it's fucking stupid. I'm tired of it. Like, oh, he bit me. Yeah, I bite my wife out of like affection too. It can be annoying sometimes. It's just stop. Everything is fucking abuse now. Everybody wants to be abused. This is the world we live in. People want to be fucking abused. They sensationalize things. Nothing can be a bad event anymore. It has to be trauma. It has to be abusive. It has to be rape. It has to be sexual assault. It has to be grooming. It has to be manipulation. Like, it has to be, like, most of the time people are just shitty and inconsiderate. But like, we have to apply so many narratives to things now. It's out of control. It's honestly out of control. Like, it's out of control, bro. It really is.
For me, I saw the effect Shelby had on me. Seeing another content creator.
Did you look in the mirror, or how does that work?
Someone I
can't even see my own penis. It's crazy.
Up to speaking out about something that happened, realizing that someone I looked up to went through the same thing as me. You don't understand what that does. You don't understand how that feels.
Cool
I wanted to be that for other people. Me staying silent about my situation.
Oh, so you were jealous of the attention she was getting, so you wanted to come forward. Now it makes sense.
Who is that helping? I understand. Oh, it's just bringing up, because if you view it as drama, it is like, oh, why are you bringing this drama forward? But it isn't. It's sexual assault. It is.
No, it's not.
Me and my viewers know. One of the biggest things I've
your child viewers know. They don't know anything. That's why you're getting away with this to the degree you are. Not a single person should agree with you.
So in my content is being open for the purpose of connecting, because realizing someone that you watch goes through the same things that you do, it is so healing, and it is so eye-opening. And again, I will always, if I could do this all over, I would do it all again, because the amount of viewers of mine and viewers that aren't of mine that have reached out to me saying they understand and that they feel safe now to accept what's happened to them. Not even safe to come out about their stories, because you don't
what story?
have to come out about your story. You don't have to yell it off the rooftops to heal from it, you know.
Wow.
But again, it is a big help.
She was tickled, by the way. Just want to be very clear. It's like not dramatic.
It creates this open discussion of these hard things to talk about. That's why I came out about my story. Not to, and again, I know it sounds hypocritical, and I'm acknowledging that, and I did things I probably shouldn't have with making it this drama kind of thing on Twitter by replying and being.
Thank you so much for the $5, Sir Winter. Looking fly today, Papa. Do I really look that good? Am I looking fresh and fly, dude? Hey, I didn't give you consent to comment on my fucking appearance, dude. I didn't give you any consent to do that. You guys have to stop non-consensually. You're gonna fucking traumatize me live on stream, dude. This is fucked up. Check this out. You're gonna fuck me up, dude.
You know.
I don't know. Explain it to me.
But yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
Again, I came out with my story. It's fine if you don't believe me. And it's also really.
It's fine if you don't believe me. You were just going, like, you constantly go between this, going on a tear about how everybody's idolizing him and not believing you because they're fucking dumb and they're manipulative and this and that, and then you're like, oh, it's fine. Like, what?
Fine if you don't understand me. You don't understand why I did.
You don't get me, Mom. You don't fucking understand me, Mom. You fucking idiot. You don't get it, dude.
Understand why I couldn't have stood up in the moment and ran out of the room. It's fine if you don't.
What? You could have left with your friend. You decided not to. You got up and told your friend goodbye after cuddling with this guy when you had an easy out if you didn't like it. Right? Like, am I being stupid? Like, I'm pretty sure the narrative is that I was cuddling with George, and then my friend left, and then I got up, said goodbye to her, and I sat back down and cuddled with him again. Why didn't you just leave if you were so fucking upset about it? What? What are you talking about? Imagine telling people they need to be more careful about idolizing people, then idolize another content creator because they talked about their experience. Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. That's funny.
Understand, because the story isn't for you. It's for people who victims who
you don't
understand
get
my
it.
thought process.
You don't get it, guys.
This is all the bad stuff that this person did, go kill them. It was me describing my experience with assault that happened to me and then acknowledging it. You know, actually
realizing, I got high blood pressure too, girls. Assault is not good for me either. Fuck.
I think, shit, this is something that happened to me and I can't ignore it, and accepting it. It was about my journey as a victim, and I fully understand not many people to understand that kind of journey. And even if you are a victim...
Well, you said before that it was like something that happens constantly. Like you said, like 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. So like by that logic, like apparently all of us know. No? Like, I mean, or a lot of people would know it. It's not a very unique experience you're telling us. I'm fucked, dude. I'm literally fucked, dude. I'm literally Caitibugzz right now. And all these bugs around me are GeorgeNotFound. And I gotta run. But I can't. I'm too scared. Sorry.
You don't have to have the same situation to still be a victim, so I understand that as well.
Oh, fuck my balls.
My story was meant for people who chose to believe me, not because, you know, of proof, or because I have video of it, or because of any of that.
People who chose to believe me, not because I had proof, but because you're a fucking idiot.
Because they've experienced it themselves.
You're fucking, you're a
it.
stupid
They
person.
recognize what I've went through, and they recognize
You're fucking dumb.
that I'm sincere about it. I feel like the whole
got 2
situation,
more levels on my
the way
minigun.
it played out, has been very unfair.
Yeah, because people aren't blindly agreeing with you.
But what's most unfair is what he did to me in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'm tired of the constant fight of trying to validate what I went through, to validate and prove that
You're doing it again and again and again. What do you mean you're tired of it?
I was uncomfortable. I'm tired.
I don't care if it was uncomfortable. Again, like, you could have just left. You didn't. You could have left with your friend. No, but it doesn't matter if you're uncomfortable. Expressing your uncomfortableness or not wanting to do that is what matters. By the way, having sex is uncomfortable with somebody you don't know. Like, every sexual experience I've ever had with the first time I slept with them is uncomfortable. The uncomfortable doesn't mean anything. Like, the uncomfortable isn't enough.
Hard.
You guys were mutually cuddling and touching each other by your own admission.
With it all, honestly. But again, I would still do it all over again, because I don't want people to view that as me, like, bowing out, and, you know, because I bit more than I can chew. I'm still here, but
I wish you weren't. Well, I mean, just in the sense of get offline and go get a real job.
I'm just...
How unemployable is this person at this point? It's actually crazy. Like, you're never going to be able to function in, like, a real job, because you're going to melt down the second the manager fucking gives you any slack.
Not going to apologize for what I've went through. I know there may be more after this. More, you know, people trying to get the final word, or, like, people, you know,
like George
responding to what I've said.
Or like content creators.
Thought on it.
This is my final countdown. Do 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 do.
All. If there's anything said after this, or there's responses or anything, I won't be there to see it. As for, you know, the future and stuff, I'm in a really weird place. You know, content, when I was going through stuff in my real life, I would use content as kind of an escape. You know, it was a place to feel safe, and even if my life was shit off the screen.
It's very clear that your life has never been shit, by the way. Because people whose life suck don't do this. People whose life suck, they don't need to do this. Fucking my butt. They don't need to play make believe trauma. Like, so your life is very easy, and you think that this is traumatic because your life is so easy. People who have actually had a tough life, like they're laughing at you, and they should.
I could come on here and be with you guys.
Oh,
but
dude, not good.
Now, obviously, I'm just in a very weird place.
We gotta play a little smart here.
So I'm not promising anything. Not promising that I'm gonna come back. Not promising that I'm leaving forever.
Oh, I wish you would. Leave forever, yeah.
It's just a thing about time and taking time. And I hope you guys can understand that. It does suck. There are things that I've been working on for like a year that I don't want to just scrap. But
I mean, like false accusations? Have you been working on this for that long?
Also, it's just... And I think a lot of people need time right now.
There we go.
Not even just me or him or like anyone. I think.
Damage and less fire rate.
Yeah.
I don't really want to reduce the damage of my other guns. I don't think.
I again can't promise anything for the future, but I'll promise that, you know, I'll do whatever I love moving forward.
I don't care.
And I wish you guys the best. I don't want to, you know, you guys to view this as me abandoning you or whatever, but I just don't want to promise anything. I will never forget how kind.
Never back down. Never what?
A lot of you have been, and the way that my community has treated me since I was 16. Truly.
Oh my God, she's getting groomed by her community.
I'm really lucky.
Do I want to do the stand still?
I really, really am.
Yeah,
a lot of people tell me I'm, you know, brave for coming out about all this.
Those people are stupid.
I feel the exact opposite.
You should.
Only strong because of you guys and the people supporting me behind the scenes.
Did you write that one? What is this, your fucking Nickelodeon speech? What is this?
I guess that's it.
Cool.
I can sit here and ask for this not to be clipped out of context and ask for people to just refer people here, but I know that That's not gonna happen. I have no control over it. So.
Everything that disagrees with me is out of context. I have no control over it. Did that guy ever? Did that guy ever come here and like explain to me how I was wrong, or what happened there? What happened? Little Tobs here.
I've said all I can.
You said too much. You said more than you can say. Okay, you've gone up past your allotted talking time. Okay, you're fucking crazy.
And again, thank you all. That's all, I guess. Goodbye. Stay safe. Please heal. And yeah.
Obviously, a woman would say please heal because they're literally only play healers in video games because they suck at it. I'm sexist. I'm beast. All right, great. That was dog shit. I'm kind of interested in reading this stupid thing. Let's get the images off the screen of Freddie Frangbear and Tickle Me Elmo. And I kind of want to read her ridiculous boundary tier list. He was trolling. He said being touched by a Minecraft YouTuber is traumatizing in and of itself. That's funny. Okay. Let's see what we got here, guys. This is Caitibugzz boundaries. I'm missing. Where am I? I'm right here. We're back. This is Caitibugzz boundaries, guys. Okay? These are things Katie is/is not comfortable with. Wow. New pronouns dropped. General PSA. Just because Katie isn't a minor, that doesn't mean you should sexualize her. Okay. Personal info. Do not search for/speculate about personal information about her if she has purposely kept it private/has ignored questions about it. This is interesting because she wrote this. And wow, maybe she has DID. She has alters. Copying her. Taking parts of her brand or online personality as inspiration is obviously fine, but creating an entire brand... What the fuck? Do you guys see it? I just noticed. Look at this terrifying picture of her back here. What the fuck? How do you view the HTML of this? Wait. How do I look at the picture? Where's this weird ass picture? How do I get to the weird picture? Huh. Fuck, where's the image? How do I look at this image, dude? Weird as hell. It's not this, right? No, what the hell is... How do I get to this? This is so weird. I guess I'm focusing on it too much. Whatever. Is it the wrapper? This? I don't know. We're focusing on too much. Sorry, guys. Wait. I could have... She does not feel the need to label herself. Don't pressure her to. That's her sexuality, guys. What are you talking about? She labels herself asexual. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, but copying her style and mannerisms, the way she talks, recreating her pictures, and identifying factors in hopes to grow as she has is just weird. It makes Katie extremely uncomfortable seeing other people ruin their own originality to become her. Please, please be your own person. There is already one Katie. We don't need a bunch of carbon copies. So that's just weird for you to say, to you to be so explicit about not copying her. I don't know. I find this just fucking Los Pollos level of weird when it comes to this. Because he's like weirdly saying the same shit about Queso. And especially don't copy her art for starting spoon soon. Well, oh my god, art for starting soons, banners, etc. That is commissioned artwork paid by artists. Don't baby her, telling her continuously to go to bed because she said she was tired, yelling, telling her to go eat, etc. Swoon and Meyer. Katie's fine with people simping, quote unquote, for her, as long as they are respectful about it. She doesn't mind followers saying that they love her if it's clearly non-romantic. Wait a minute. Didn't you go on a tear about how parasocial behavior is bad, but you're okay with people simping as long as it doesn't turn sexual? Sounds like you're feeding into the parasocial nature. Uh-oh. We have another predator. We have another predator, guys. Official predator alert. Additionally, she does not like it when people choose to admire her by saying things like, I cried because I am not as pretty as you, or you're cute when you're mad. Okay, well, it's U-R-E. Can we fix that, actually? Are we able to go into this and fix this? How do we get that? Because that's just weird. How do I get to it? Is there how do I work this? I'm being weird now. Enough of this. Anyway, regular admiration posts are okay though. Befriending her. She gets really uncomfortable when she likes an edit of her and on someone's posts, and they tell her to be friends with them solely because she liked the post. It makes her feel uncomfy and discourages her from liking fans' posts. That's pathetic. Or especially posts asking her to be mutuals, comments from followers asking accounts to be friends. Just to be clear, like, sure, that might be annoying, but the fact that you need to specifically tell people in your boundaries fucking tier list here, not to ask to be friends if she likes your post, shows a profound amount of cowardice. Just ignore it. Her sexuality, she does not feel the need to label herself. Don't pressure her to. Jokes. Joking around with her is fine, but remember, you are not her friend, and if you make any joke crossing boundaries, especially sexual ones about her or her mods, she will not take it lightly. Her. Oh, why this just says her, but... Blocking. She has stated many times that she will block anyone or anything. That's transphobic. She's calling trans people things, by the way. It's kind of fucked up. Anything she is comfortable with or finds distasteful. It does not mean she hates you or is a bad person. Do not take it personally. Tagging her. She's okay with being tagged in things such as TikToks unless it is a TikTok sexualizing her for tag your third at. Dude, you're such a loser. People tag me in that shit as a joke all the time. Oh my god. Sexualizing to her is like when somebody flirts with her when a random tags her in a TikTok. Oh my god. X, would you fuck your first at? Like, come on, guys. Dude, she's an outrageously sensitive person. Location / finding her outside. She's uncomfortable with people trying to find her. If you see her in public, Katie's comfortable with you saying hi, anything else, as long as you're not weird about it. Doing things such as following her and taking pictures of her not only is uncomforting. Also, please do not tell other people where you saw her if you did. Cosplay. Katie says that she thinks it's really cool. I guess I agree with the last one. Like, yeah, come up to me and shit. I guess just don't tell people where it was. I guess that's kind of weird. I don't know why you need to go page about it. Drawings, edits, animation. Katie is more than okay with it with it and has stated she enjoys seeing people with creativity or people's creativity. What? Okay. It makes her happy. Fan art. Again, she's okay with fan art as long as it's not NSFW. Fan fiction, same. She's okay if it's on NSFW. Update fan accounts. She's okay with these. Update accounts are fine, although she discourages roleplay accounts. Profile, pictures, layout. Katie is fine with people using her as PFP layouts as long as they are not getting into arguments being hateful, as it would look bad on her. Also, do not use videos / images of her to promote things such as self-harm, etc. Thank you so much, Barbecue Munchie, for the 15-month small god. When is the Papa Boundaries tier list going to be published? Good question. We'll have to make our own. Spreading negativity. Again, she said that she doesn't like people taking negative things from her streams and spreading it. Example, a rude toxic dono, chat being weird champ, etc. She does not want to be associated with negativity and wants people to be respectful. I can't deal with the fucking picture of her staring at us. Drama. She does not want people to involve her on unnecessary drama. Fan merch. Katie is not okay with people selling her their own fan merch and discourages it. Listen, guys, if you want to make Papa Gut fan merch and sell it, I don't really care. I'm not making any right now, so if you want to do that, I don't give a shit. That's cool as hell. Comparison. Please do not compare her growth or how much you like her compared to other people. I'm assuming they mean her size. Are you saying don't compare her to growth? I don't understand. Hot takes. She doesn't want people speaking for her, i.e. what you think she wants. Okay. People breaking boundaries. If you see someone say or do one of these things, don't bring more attention to it. Everyone commenting and queefing, carding. What does this mean? Or screenshotting something from another person and posting it gives it more attention and makes it more likely she'll see it. She encourages people to be respectfully ask someone to take it down, and if they don't, just block and move on. Overall, please just respect her and her wishes, and remember, you guys, as a community, represent her. Oh, I've said that wrong. As a community, okay, great. Please be responsible. Wow. Oh, this person deleted their Twitter. Cool. Great stuff.